All right. And it is 10:12 a.m. over here in beautiful sunny side Florida. What up, what it do? It's your boy JDQ. Let me know if y'all can hear me in the live chat area because I don't see if y'all can like really honestly they hear me. Matter of fact, let me just double check and make sure. Okay, good, good, good. All right, so we have an immensely special, unique stream today, and I'm hoping to God that I have the amount of people that I'm hoping to get on here today. And I'll be showing my face briefly, but real quick, I'd like to extend and roll out that big, long, thick red carpet for everybody out there who's on the stream right now. I'm gonna try to do a quick shout out to the first few people I see on here, and then we'll get the ball rolling. FTK, what's going on, man? Tony G, Becky Redding, Terrence, appreciate that. Clyde, Trinity, Moments Live, and Selena, Cody, Justin, Brock, Charlene, L, Lala, what's going on? Lala, Jane, Hitmocan, Jefferson, Taylor, uh, Lake, and Rodney. So, of course, John Davis and Predator Poachers Archive. Blessings and love to everybody who's on here already. I really do appreciate the love and support you guys show both me and Alex all the time. I do appreciate it. And of course, Cupcake S. And let me get one more person before I start. Wendy, of course. Yeah, blessings and love to every single one of you guys. So, we are going to do a quick review on one of the videos that was uploaded by one of the Predator catchers in a bit. But I do want to explain why this is, in my opinion, a very special and important stream that we're going to be doing today. And honestly, I don't even know how long it's going to last because I am hoping on getting a few people on here. And because of that, conversations can like really extend themselves and all that good stuff. And I just really want a healthy conversation. Now, what the stream is going to be about, all right, and I actually extended an invitation to a few people, right, um, that are either OG supporters, we're talking about supporters for over 2 years or so, or people who have actually, worked with some of the predator catchers themselves. And the reason why I want to bring some of these people on here is because I've been a part of this community for about 2 years, maybe a little more, and I honestly I want a genuine feedback from the community itself, and who better to ask how things are going within the community than people who have been supporting these different predator catchers for about 2 years or more. You know what I mean? Or of course people who have worked behind the scenes with some of these predator catchers. And I only extended the invitation to people that I've been knowing for about 2 years because of this community, right? Talking about moderators that have been around 2 years plus, or and so on and so forth, or people who like actually do camera work for the predator catchers and all that good stuff, or people who are close to these predator catchers. So, I think it's a healthy stream to get the feedback from the people themselves who are consistently day in and day out watching these predator catchers do what they do, and of course, supporting them every step of the way. So that's why I thought this was a very much needed stream. And honestly, I don't think it's been done yet. I think in all this time there have been multiple predator catchers that have been inspired to start their own channel and their own profile doing what they do. But I don't think we've ever really stopped and paused to get a collective feedback from OG supporters that have been around for a good amount of time, just to get like an insight and like a real feel for like what the viewers and supporters really feel, if it's really going well for this community, or if it could be improved in some way shape or form, and all that good stuff. So I already have someone in the backstage, and it's someone that y'all like have come to know and love. Um, I have a long way to to get to know him on a personal level, and eventually, I know I'll get there once I actually make the time to do so because he is a very important person within the community, and he's someone that you guys have seen multiple times. You've heard him talk before on other channels and all that good stuff. And I want to start off with him because he actually has been working with one of these predator catchers for pretty much like since that person started doing the confrontations, and is a best friend to one of the predator catchers. So with long without further ado, I'm gonna bring on uh, Mr. Jesus.
Hey, what's up, JDQ?
Not much, man. Not much. Thanks for accepting the invitation, bro. I really do appreciate that, man.
No problem. My mornings are free. That's like I have nothing to do right now, so I said might as well.
Awesome, awesome. And
Before we start, I like to say, I'm a part of Predator Poachers. It's a small channel. Not many subs. We're out there doing our thing.
yeah, not many subs at all. No, 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 no.
No, yeah,
It's a it's a baby channel basically. It's just starting off now.
Yeah, we're just starting off, but hey, we're hoping to make it big one day. Honestly,
one day you'll get there, guys. Everybody has their time in the sun.
It's true. It's true. Right now, we're just taking it easy. So,
Jesus, bro, it's good hearing your voice, man.
How's it going, man?
Not too bad. Not too bad. It's kind of like I said a few minutes ago. I have long ways to go with actually like we chit chat here and there, like in the DMs or whatever.
Yeah.
But hopefully with time, I'm able to get to know you a lot better. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully like build an actual like, because I do see you as a friend, to a certain degree. But you know how there's like acquaintances, there's like business partners, and then there's like friends to where you can have these like dope long ass conversations about anything. So I'm hoping to get there one day with you, bro, because you seem like a very interesting person.
I mean, we're getting there. The times we talk on Instagram, like they're I would say pretty long conversations. True stuff to talk about, yeah.
True that. But this is, I believe, the first time I've had you personally on a stream of mines on this channel, correct?
This is the first time I'm here with you, yeah, because most of the times either I'm like holding the watch room for Alex or it's with Alex, yeah.
Exactly. All right, so and again, thanks for making the time to like be here with me. I appreciate it. So
it's cool.
You have known Alex for how long, bro?
Let's see. Okay, I knew of Alex my freshman year of high school. That's when I knew of Alex. No, actually back in middle school, but I never talked to him. But then when we got, like, I would say, freshman year is when I first saw him again, and then sophomore year is when we started like lifting together. That's when I would say we became like close friends, and then from there on we just talked. We just kept in contact, and he was a grade ahead of me, so he graduated first. So he started at the time towards the end of my senior year, and I was just supporting. I was like, oh, do what you do, bro. Good stuff. And after that, summer came, and I had like summer break before college started. So I was like, you know what? I have a lot of free time. And Alex posted on his story back then. He said, hey, if you're down to come help me out catch, just hit me up. And I said, hey, what's up? I'm free. And next thing you know, I'm here now.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy. And it's a beautiful start, you know what I'm saying, to a journey that I'm pretty sure you had no idea would be going on up until this day. You know what I'm saying? Like when you first started like helping him out with this, right?
Oh man, I told many of my friends and even Alex like the way I planned these year to go out, just play out is way different than it's going, because I thought it's like after I'm done with Alex, I'm gonna go full time to college, just focus on college, and it really didn't go like that, because like I would go to school, but like I would stay up till like 4 a.m. and then wake up like at 6, 7 in the morning because I need to go to school. So that's what I would do. But I'm young, so I could take that right now. So
yeah.
But then COVID came around, which was it was horrible, but it gave me the chance to do school online and travel with Alex, and he told me it's like, look, I need another camera person. I know you're online, and we just got back from, like, I think it was Arizona, and we did the catch in the Indian reservation, and
Right.
that's what I told him. It's like, you know what? It's I'm online, so I'm really not going to miss anything. And I told him I'll travel with you, and ever since then, we gone through a lot of crazy stuff.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure you guys got even like a lot closer as time went on, correct?
Definitely, definitely. I rarely tell people this, but I see Alex as a brother. Like, the guy Alex and Alfred and Pablo are like brothers to me. Honestly, like, we've been through a lot together, so, and they're the best, honestly.
That's good, bro. I mean, same thing with Alex. Like, I see him as a friend already, and I've been seeing him as a friend, and I still have long ways to go when it comes to getting to know him. You know what I'm saying? Like, on a personal level, I have like a good idea of the way his mind works and all that because of like what he has expressed in the past, whether it be politically, whether it be just the way he is and all that. I've gotten like a good glimpse of like how and who he is, but I still have a long ways to go because of two things. Like every day, all right, as individuals, we grow. And sometimes we just kind of like pick up on things that we didn't know yesterday and we know now today and have helped us like mature. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
So I
Uh,
mean,
I've told Alex this before, but uh, I forgot. I think it was like one road trip we're on. We're talking, and then I told him, "Look, man, I don't, because I told him I don't like to eat all the sentimental stuff. I rarely tell you stuff like this, but I've noticed how much you've matured when it came to, like, just throughout these past years. Because seeing you like 2 years ago to compare to where you're at right now, it's like you're a different person. Like, you improved so much, and and it shows in your videos. Like, you see how you get these predators to talk, and I would say, and I tell them, like, you're really good at what you're doing.
exactly. And that's kind of like we're gonna get to that in a second, like because that's one of the things I want to like focus on, and
Yeah, I
it's gonna
got you.
be one of the main focuses of this whole stream, like the whole point of it, basically. But before we even like cross that road and get to talking about that, you know, you just kind of like gave me a little bit of like what I was going to ask you. It's like these 2 years, hell, even more than 2 years, because like you said, you met him like in middle school, but then
High school
then
is when when
high
we became.
school. Him as a person. You know what I'm saying? What would you say has changed the most, like for the better, when it comes to like Alex as a person? All catching stuff aside, him as the individual and friend that you have made you know like what do you think has like grown or what's the word I'm looking for, where do you see he's improved most as a person, as an individual?
Wow, that's a tough one, honestly. Because, like, how the way I would put it is, like, he just improved overall, like, in a person. Like, I wouldn't say, oh, like, this specific part of you, this is what you got better at. Like, it was like an overall thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I went along this past years and saw him how he grew, and I was like, he improved little things, and I was like, he's doing a really good job, and it shows, honestly. But I would say one thing he improved on would be, let's see. Well, of course, the maturity for sure, but just the way he handles himself. Honestly, I would say he's done a pretty good job at that.
Would you say that and this is just, of course, this is just me asking, um and before I continue, does everybody feel the same about like the audio? Is it really like sounding like bad? Does it I can't really do much to adjust it, honestly, from my end. So if it is, give me like a little trouble or whatever, just let me know and I'll try to do what I can on my end. But give me a heads up in the live chat if like the audio is Audio was good. It's good. Audio was great. Okay, good. Perfect. All right. So, comparing the Alex from the first catches, like when he would have like Cassidy Campbell like on the catches with him and all that, and today's Alex. You know what I'm saying? Is that what you mean when you say like maturity wise? Because we can see like a clear distinction of like Alex back then and
Yeah,
Alex like nowadays. Is that what you're talking about when you say
yeah,
maturity?
yeah, definitely that. That's the best way to explain it. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's good. That's good. All right. So now, kind of like little by little, moving towards like the actual conversation that I've been wanting to like to have, and I have somebody else in the backstage right now, which is a longtime supporter of many of these channels, and it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. And I'm gonna have him on here in a bit, but I want to like kind of like get the most out of you first before I continue on with the other people.
I gotcha.
Not saying that you have to go away once I bring the other person in, but just wanted to make sure that there's no like unexpected like interruptions or whatever, but by
Okay,
accident.
gotcha. No, yeah, it's
So
okay. I got you.
okay, it's been about over 2 years since this whole thing started. Like this thing like blew up like wildfire.
Oh my god,
Um,
it's crazy to think about that. It's been about. Oh wow, it kind of makes me feel old, but I can't believe it's been like about 2 years, man. It's crazy to think about it like that.
it's funny how you just said that, and if you feel that way, imagine me. You know what I'm saying? Imagine how old I feel now. You know what I mean? And by the way, for the people like donating, I want to thank everyone who donates in advance. You don't have to, but if you do, I do appreciate that in advance. So big shout out to I think Lala Blue and Barbara Fraser, both of you, and anybody else who from this point forward like wants to like donate and stuff. I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. All right, so um, this has been 2 years.
Yeah.
And this community, when I first came into this community, right, and started being a part of it, started watching all these catches lives, like screen recording Rami's catches and his, you know what I'm saying, escapades and all that stuff, and crossed over to like Alex's channel and then Jay's channel and so on and so forth. I have noticed a huge difference from like when I started watching this content and now, and if I'm honest, if I'm completely honest, like these last few months, it's been tough on me to even like find the energy to like actually keep up with all these different channels because number one, I applaud all of them for what they do,
Yeah.
and I take my hat off to them, and I have love and respect for every single one of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But of course, this is JDQ's opinion. You know what I'm saying? This is my personal opinion. I'm not putting this on anybody. This is just my view on what's been going on. And I'm not trying to like strike down anybody or say in general. I'm not trying to generalize anything, but there's like bits and pieces of people within the community these last few months that I've noticed that have given this community like a toxic type of like vibe to it. And I don't know if you would agree, Jesus. But again, that's like my personal opinion. Like, again, I'm not saying it's everyone. I'm not trying to generalize or nothing like that. You know what I mean? Because obviously, if I'm still here somewhat, then there's people like me or better than me that do better supportive work within the community. But in your opinion, Jesus, what's your like feedback on like the community as a whole, the predator catching community as a whole, both viewers and supporters?
Uh,
You know what I mean? And like catchers and all that stuff. What's your take on it?
well, I'll be honest with you. Most people think that I'm very involved when it comes to the community. When being involved in all that on the social media and all that. But I'll be honest, like I haven't been like that interactive or like that. I haven't kept up like that. So I would say this, like I know there's like stuff going on in the community. Like I have some people that are in the community that I talk to daily, and they tell me what's going on and this and that.
Mm-hmm.
And I talk to Red Hood once in a while. He tells me what's going on, and I'm like, wow, man. Like, I totally understand when you say you don't have the energy to like try to keep up with certain people or try to like watch this stuff, and I totally understand, man. Because before, I would say I was really involved in watching a lot of people, but I would say like these past few months, like I've been doing I would say a pretty good job at let's put it like sticking to my lane in a
Right.
sense. So like if Alex needs the video done and edit it, like I'll do the video, edit it, and just upload it, and that would be the most I would do when it comes to the community at this point. I've done a pretty good job of just disassociating with certain stuff, just because I know it's not. I just don't want it in my life because it's just stress I don't need right now.
Right.
So I just been like, let's say, I just put myself away from that.
Mm-hmm.
That would be yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and that's been my takeaway. And I always say, and I've said it in the past, like, yo, every time I do something or don't do something or do something a certain way, you know what I'm saying? There's always a reason and purpose behind it. You know what I mean? I don't just like do things randomly and just like, it is what it is. No, like if I'm stepping away gradually or if I'm not on as much as I used to be or whatever, there's a reason and purpose like behind it. You know what I mean?
I totally
Like,
understand you. I totally understand you. Yeah,
yeah.
and I see where you're coming from. Like there's like stuff that's going on in the community that it's just you feel that it shouldn't be here. Like what I mean. The focus shouldn't be on that, and it kind of like it's not what you were used to seeing that the same community that you want to keep on watching. It's not the same like that, but that's just me though.
Yeah. No, and I agree with that, bro. Before we continue, I'm going to introduce now uh, a supporter who has been around just about like around the same time I started watching his content. I think he was here in the community before me, to be honest with you. Um, Justin Johnson, hey, I appreciate that and thank you in advance. Again, to anyone who like donates and stuff, like because I don't want to keep interrupting the stream, by saying this, but I do thank you in advance for whoever does. You don't have to, but if you do, I appreciate it. So I want to bring on Sal Philly. He's been a long time supporter of this community, and which is the reason why I even extended the invitation is because I've seen. I remember the first few streams on the different channels, like like Rami's channel, like Alex's channel, and all that, and I would see your name pop up a lot. We haven't really interacted a lot, like behind the scenes. We've chit chatted here and there, and you've reached out to me in the past through the DMs and all that. But this is like the first time I have you on here and actually have that interaction with you. But if you want to like formally introduce yourself and all that, you can, and then we'll get right into it.
I appreciate it. Yeah, Jake, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you just fine.
Okay, yeah, you were correct. We kind of came on the channel around the same time. I remember us popping up together. I was actually interested in reaching out to Alex or doing the same thing he was doing around the time you were when we were talking to each other. What happened was I never made an immediate move. I'm from Philadelphia,
Mm-hmm.
and things here have been getting really wild lately, really out of control. I mean, I'm sure the whole United States has its own problems, but in this one city here, especially in the inner city where I am south, it's very, very, I wouldn't say dangerous, but people don't play around. So there's not really many arguments. And I just thought it was bad news. So I sat back and I never really stepped into it. And then I went ahead and watched you, step into it a little bit. And it had my attention. And I've been a supporter of Alex for many, many years. I think I just became a member 2 months ago. Yeah. But
I appreciate it.
Yeah, sure. I've watched him since the first day he's ever been. They were high school kids, and I think there was 5 or 6 of them going around doing it. And I was watching them, and he's really grown into probably the best I've seen. I mean, what he does is amazing. He makes the predators think he's their buddy.
Mm-hmm.
He gets information out of them that no one else could. Part of getting that information is feeling comfortable,
Mm-hmm. That's
And an
correct.
introduction of myself is, yeah, my name is it's Sal. I'm from South Philly, Philadelphia. So my friends call me Sal Philly because it sounds like South. That's where that name
Gotcha.
came. Yeah, that's where my name came about. That's my nickname here in the city. And I'm a personal trainer here in the city.
Nice. You look like it.
Thank you. And it's actually been quiet and slow since COVID for everyone. You know, nobody really wants that person in their face speaking to them, telling them what to do, and one-on-one interactions. But trying to make the best of it. And yeah, that's basically it. I've been a supporter of both of you since the beginning. I saw your message this morning, and I appreciate you bringing me on and introducing me here.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for that. That was a beautiful introduction. If I could have everyone give him like a round of applause in the live chat, that would be great because
I
wow,
appreciate
that's
it.
the first time I see you like express yourself and
Yeah,
bro, like perfect. That was
this is
good.
my
That was
first time on. I don't go on Instagram Live. I sit back, I chat. A lot of people know who I am on IG Live. I've never been on camera, so this
good.
is
Yeah.
it's kind of new to me.
I mean, you might have to get used to it if all goes accordingly on your end with the whole like catching situation. So we'll see. Hopefully that's the case though.
Sure.
Um, bro, like one of the reasons why I brought you on here, right? And I know I told you in the DMs is because, like I stated at the beginning of the stream, I want a genuine heart-to-heart feedback from both people who are viewers and supporters for like a long time, who have been like moderators for some of these channels, like yourself, and people who have worked intimately, closely with these catchers, like people like Jesus, that has known Alex for a good while now. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And what would be your takeaway from about over 2 years up until now, seeing how the community has been slowly and gradually growing? Because at first it was just a few of them: Alex, Jay, Ghost. I hate to say it, but even Rami was one of
Right,
the
right.
first ones
I
that
made
we
sure
all
I
come
kept
to
his
know.
name out. Yeah, yeah.
But from then and now, I know you've been keeping a close slide the same way I have within like the supporters and viewers and all that, and
Sure.
and how doing things a certain way
I would
has.
enjoy doing it very much. Like I said, I don't know any other people doing it in Philadelphia, which is probably good. I know Randy was up in Jersey or near New York. But anyway, yeah, if I had someone in this tri-state area, I would do it immediately. I just don't know if it's a good idea for me just to start going out doing it myself. And like I said, stepping into that world without any background at all. But I do have the knowledge of, I've probably watched every single one for the last couple of years that at least 10, 12 people have done.
Now, would you say that keeping an eye on this community and the catchers and seeing them like grow as people and all that, like, do you think it's been going like the positive? Do you think like the way the community has been growing as a whole, like in general, will actually bring in positive support by, like, let's say like law enforcement or the judicial system, or you know what I'm saying? Like, do you think that's like the case, or do you think it's like the other way around? Do you think this is actually taking this community further and further away from getting support and help from law enforcement and all that?
I think it's mixed. I think it's right down the middle. As far as just the everyday person, the mother, the father, they appreciate it. They like it very much. They appreciate what everybody does. It lets you know who the people are in the neighborhood. As far as the everyday person, it's 100% positive and thank yous and everything else. As far as the law enforcement, what I have noticed is some, I think, get a little nervous and they want you to call them and they want to handle it and they don't want like the vigilante type person to be law enforcement. But then again, I believe it's the way everybody handles it. I believe Alex is a law enforcement's dream. By what he's doing with these interviews, he hands the tape to the detective. They have to do absolutely nothing but watch it. Okay, so I believe for that, that's it. He would be a dream. Someone else, if you're talking about Ramy or somebody that's going to run up and tell the guy he's an MMA fighter and grab him by the neck. They're not going to like that, you know.
Right.
That's no shot to him. It's just two different strategies, you know.
Gotcha.
So I think it has to do with the actual predator catcher himself on as far as what law enforcement takes. But for my eyes, it's a mixed world. I think 50% they know they're out there. They don't really want to get involved, and they sort of have to when they get the phone call. Then the other 50%, they appreciate it. They appreciate you taking the time and going, and then they follow up after. I noticed most of the phone calls, either some don't even show.
Mm-hmm.
You have to go, to the actual district and hand everything to the detectives. And a lot of them that do show say, well, we can't arrest them today.
Right.
We'll go over the papers and we'll get back to them. And that to me is, I mean, in my eyes, it's laziness, for the police district. But I'm sure in their eyes, they want to be 100% and make sure.
Right. Protocol and all that stuff.
So, I mean, that's pretty much my take. I think it's a mixed world.
Gotcha.
I think it would be 60-40 positive, though, as far as law enforcement.
Jesus, you have anything to add to that, bro? Because you've been on all these catches and you've seen like the involvement of like the police department, law enforcement, and all that firsthand. Do you have any takeaway from that?
Well, I'll be honest. When we go to small towns, that's where we like get the best cops. Like the guys come in, they get arrested, and it's quick. If we do a catch in Houston or a bigger city, there's probably nothing's going to be done, honestly. Like we know, like if we call the cops in Houston, they're just going to take our stuff, and we're never going to hear from them ever again. Like You know what I mean? It's happened once, and it's going to happen again. It's like up in Dallas by Plano, they still have one of Alex's phones. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, and it's been like a year already, and nothing. So
Jesus.
Hey, Jesus, thank you for everything that you do. I appreciate it too. I didn't catch you were there in the middle, but I see you now.
No, it's okay. I appreciate it, man. But I agree with Sal. Like, it depends on the catchers, because some catchers just put a bad light on the whole community. And if you've seen this before, it doesn't matter how much good this community does. They're gonna pick the bad and just look at that. And you know what I mean?
Right. Agreed.
Sure.
Agree with that.
I've seen some news articles that the police district actually asked the catching team, please take a step back. I mean, I think that's not cool at all.
Definitely.
Yep. Excuse me, fellas. I'm about to bring on a third person on here. Well, technically fourth person. That I, again, along with Sal, I know has been on the community or within the community, watching all these catches for like a very long time. And he's extremely observant. I'll give him that. And he's always trolling here and there, but I love the guy. He's a character. But he's a very knowledgeable character from my point of view and my opinion. I'm gonna have Anthony L on here.
What up, Jesus?
What's up, Anthony?
Long time no see. I haven't seen you guys since last February?
Yeah, last February. Yeah, it's like the first time we visited New York. Yeah.
Yo, that was like so last minute. What's up, Southfield?
How you doing, Anthony? Nice to meet you.
I'm good. I just got out the gym doing like accessories.
Okay.
Nice.
My body's like really beat up from like all this training my friend has me programmed doing.
I'm pretty sure Sal could help you out if he was closer, but
yeah, I could even.
I'm only like 2 hours. I'm like 2 hours away through New Jersey Transit.
Well, there you go.
From Harlem.
That's not too bad if you're down here on the East Coast. Not bad at all.
Yeah. What up, Jorge?
Yeah. What up, Anthony? Bro, I don't want to like sound like a broken record or whatever, but
you are a broken record.
The reason why I brought you on here, you already know why. I told you in the DMs. I told you over the phone.
He slid into my DMs, yo.
Yeah, man.
Get yourself a character like that.
but bro, like I would not have reached out to you if I didn't believe you had actual constructive like opinions and feedback to give when it comes to you watching how this community has grown and all these catchers have like popped left and right out of nowhere, PCN, PCI.
Yeah.
The list goes on and on.
Like
What's your take on it, bro?
like not every predator catcher is perfect and stuff. Like there's flaws in everyone's like approach. Like I can't like say like nothing's perfect in this world. We know that. Like
Right.
we have we know like we have a special connection, so we know what's the only perfect thing in this world.
Right.
But I'm not gonna like demolish somebody's like tactics. Like everyone's doing a good job, but it's the way you do it. Especially with the other person. Like I'm finding out that one of these people got like a very serious charge, and I could correlate this to a YouTube streamer who's pulling like stunts on the Queensboro Bridge, where he was like doing like IRL, and I'm like, you can't be doing like terroristic threats like in a YouTube stream,
Right.
even if it's a joke. You can't say. Can I even say it here?
I wouldn't just
I
in
can't
case.
say it. It's like
But we know what you're talking about.
when you're doing like those type of things, you're making threats, or you're trying to like interrogate someone, like you're holding them at their own will.
Right.
That defeats the purpose of the approach because you can't hold them. You can't detain them because in certain states you can't do citizens arrest.
Right. And see, again, coming back full circle, the broader question here is, let's say whatever, a year, 2 years from now, is it really going to be the thing that more catchers actually like, pop up left and right out of nowhere and this continues? Or, is this, and this is just me asking questions, y'all. I'm not stating anything. I'm not predicting anything. This is just me genuinely like asking questions. But, can we really see a longevity in this community, based off of how things have been going, this past year or this year alone? Do we really see longevity?
Yes and no.
Mm-hmm.
Yes and no, because you have people in the community that give it a bad reputation, and that's why you see some people getting like some of the catchers getting arrested for doing these catches. Like it's a misconstruction, especially when Musa got arrested before Thanksgiving, because the cop misconstrued everything that came out of his mouth, and then he had to miss Thanksgiving. So like, and it was in that state where this other person got arrested for terroristic threats, and like we have to be careful because cops are watching, investigators are watching, FBI is watching these videos. Like you have to like you don't know who's watching on the other end.
Right.
So you have to act accordingly. You can't be doing like crazy stuff.
Okay.
Especially
So
when you're doing these confrontations.
So wait, based on what you just said right now, which is very true, like what would be your constructive criticism aside from the fact of like the don'ts, like you can't hold someone like a hostage and stuff like that. That should be like predator catching 101. But
Yeah.
outside of the obvious, what can be done? You know what I'm saying, to like not guarantee, but at the very least somewhat secure longevity with this whole movement.
Don't do this. Don't do the approaches that other people do just for clout. Don't
Right.
do like. Don't act like you're too tough. Like I will beat you up and stuff. Like don't make threats on the video. But if you feel like you're in danger, protect yourself at all costs. But you have to be attacked first. You're just there to have a conversation with this person to let them know what they did was wrong.
Right.
And in some cases, like we've seen these confrontations where the catcher gets attacked. So I'm all for the attack, the catchers defending themselves, but we can't be hitting them first or making threats.
Right. Sal, you have anything to add to that, bro?
Yeah, I see longevity in this. I see it definitely. I think it makes predators think twice now. Most of them now, or a lot of them, if you notice, they do say, "Oh, I knew this was you. I knew this was you coming." So it is in the back of their mind. And I know a lot of them aren't going to care because they're repeated offenders. But I mean, even if 15% stop, it's still 50% lower than it was. But besides that, the answer to your question is, if law enforcement wants to get involved or not, keep exposing these guys. Go to whoever lives in their family, their mother, their sister, their relatives, their own. Put pressure on them to get them help. Maybe tell their immediate surroundings. Knock on the door next door and the door next door to that and say, "Do you know anything about your neighbor so and so? well, read these messages.
Right.
And that's my opinion there. Law enforcement could do whatever they want. We would love to see them behind bars. We can't control that. Keep the pressure on them and keep exposing them, and the longevity's there.
Yep. Jesus, anything you want to add to that, bro?
Honestly, I do think there's longevity. Just seeing the amount of time we've been able to come back, I think there is in the community. Of course, there's going to be drama because there always is, but I do see longevity in this community, though.
I have a question because I saw a comment just a few seconds ago on the live
Can
chat.
I add more to my answer? Because I feel like it wasn't enough. So the longevity, it's like I said, it's always a yes or no because it's because of what I just mentioned. Like with all like the way people are doing, like they're acting crazy, like they're acting like out of character, and like you can't do that. It shows bad rep to the cops. It shows bad rep to the investigators. You have to do it professionally. And the drama within the community, like that's a problem too. Like, can we stop with the drama? It could be a friendly drama, but it can't be like personal, professional drama. Let's just make it like a friendly drama. Like it's like in wrestling, it's called a shoot or it's called like heat. Like let's act like it's kayfabe. And then when it comes to yes, of course, there's longevity as long as they act accordingly. Like you have Alex who does it by the book. You have PCI and PCM that do it by the book. FM does it by the book. But you see, like where people like FM and Moose are from, and Jay, they're from like the hood. Like I grew up in the hood too, so like I understand those personalities. So that's very important too. Like personality plays a big factor. You can't act like, oh, if this was the ghetto, like nah. You have people that come from the streets or like come from that background, and they have that personality. Like it's not a bad thing. Like I appreciate what everyone's doing, but it depends where you come from too. So the longevity is very important, and it's a yes for that. Like you have those type of people. Like it depends where you're at, like what state.
Yep.
As long as the drama is gone, then we don't have a problem.
Well, see, the problem, in my opinion, is that the drama, for the most part, and this is kind of like what I was hinting at earlier. It's usually stems from either trolls or people who are just toxic in nature and just kind of like start drama altogether within the community. And that's one of the reasons why sometimes I honestly it I know it sounds dumb, I know it sounds like really dumb, but sometimes it's really difficult to like even get on here sometimes because you want to ignore the fact that people come up with some random comments here and there to like just to that that it's just to like start drama or being toxic in themselves, and it's tough because I could ignore comments all day long, but what happens when I'm ignoring those comments and also by accident ignoring constructive comments at the same time because I'm trying to like not pay attention to like the drama, you know what I mean?
What's your take on that, Jay, now that you've been hosting this platform for a little while?
Oh man, as far as like longevity, yes, there is there's always going to be longevity, and I'll tell you why. People will always have access to cameras, on their smartphones or just like regular cameras. So based off of that alone, the fact that we have that freedom to like have access to these items and these tools, you know what I'm saying, to like keep this content going forward, that's always it's always gonna like be there, you know what I mean, at our disposal. So let's say YouTube one day decided like all these predator catching channels are gonna be taken down. Okay, cool, that's fine. There, you know how many other platforms there is out there on the internet, you know what I'm saying? And I know like most of them are trying to like censor this type of content, but there's always going to be a platform available and willing to share that type of content. So YouTube could shut us down eventually, but then you have Facebook. Facebook can shut us down eventually, but then you have what's that one that I had mentioned to Alex a few months ago?
Rumble.
Yeah, Rumble. There's always another platform.
There's one called Odyssey, I think.
I didn't even know about that one. See, that's a new one that I didn't even know about that exists. That's out there at our disposal. So
Odyssey.
Longevity within like this type of content, yes, it will always be out there in the open for people to like view and like support. However, in my opinion, and I think I've stated this in the past, sadly, this is not me sounding like doom and gloom or negative or pessimistic or whatever. But if I go based off like my beliefs and all that, sadly, prophetically, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to preach to anybody, but prophetically, in my
Preach
opinion,
that word, Shama.
yeah, it's gonna go from bad to worse in the sense that there is going to be censorship, and not only that, but certain laws are eventually, and I'm not happy about this, obviously, but they're going to be tailor made to, what I'm saying, make it almost impossible to get these pedos and predators like in jail because it's going to get to a point where it's going to be allowed. You know what I'm saying? To have an adult or an elderly person date and do stuff with a minor. It's. I'm not saying that's next year. I'm not saying that's 2 years from now. But as time goes on, it is going to get to that. Sadly, you know what I mean.
Sure.
But that's my personal opinion. You know what I'm saying? I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not guaranteeing anything, and I hope it doesn't go that way. I pray to God it don't go that way, or at
Yeah.
least not while I'm alive, because that would just tear my heart apart, and I'd be I don't know what I would do, um, but yeah, it is my opinion.
Okay. Yeah, you definitely have the knowledge on it. I know you've been behind the scenes, for at least a good year and a half now.
2 years.
2 years. Yeah. So
Yeah.
time flies too.
Oh yeah, man. So moving on to another question that is actually been on my mind for a while now, and I think I'll ask Jesus personally on this one because I believe he might have a little bit more insight, or at least as far as like opinion goes, he might have like a better opinion on this. But as far as like starting to like make most of this content to where it's either privated or like members only, would that help with like how do I say this? Because I think someone mentioned earlier in the live chat how some of this video footage, the lawyers of the pedos and predators, they can technically like use it, blah blah blah, to like support their case and etc. But you know, do you guys think, all three of y'all and everybody else in the live chat, do you guys think that by potentially making these live catches or this any of this content for the most part private or members only would help, you know what I'm saying, kind of like that longevity that we're talking about, or would it hurt, would it actually hurt the movement instead, putting all these catches like private or um I forget the word, but it's like either privated or was it unlinked or something like that. Anyways, like either members only or private. Do you guys think that's like a good idea to like set it up that way? Would it help or would it hurt the cause?
That's a good question. I kind of like what Alex is doing now, where he shows you some of it or the majority of it, and then if you want to see the arrest or the charges, or you want to get a little more personal, then you have to be a member.
Yep. And there's two comments here that, yeah. Miss Yum says it would hurt the movement. Gila would say it would hurt exposure badly, which is true. These are all true comments. It'd be like less exposure. This is true. This is true. But at the same time, though, I don't know. In my opinion, sometimes like you do kind of have to like balance things. I know sometimes like Alex or any other predator catcher, they deem that specific catch worthy of putting it private only because of how gruesome it is or how violent it might seem or something along those lines. You know what I mean? Just to protect themselves, like, and stay clear of like guidelines on YouTube and all that. But I don't know. Sometimes, like, I wonder if that would help, like being able to like carry the actual like catch and confrontation forward in the sense of like legal matters. You know what I mean? Because sometimes,
I mean,
yeah,
numbers would drop if you're just worried about numbers, subscribers, and how many supporters you have. Of course, that's going to drop. But it's going to drop, and you're going to have stronger loyalty.
Right. Anthony, you have anything to add to
I
that?
think it like from a legal context, like it depends because sometimes like I don't know, I've heard like once or twice where they told the catchers like just keep the video, make the video public after the case is over.
Okay.
Because then I feel like from a legal, like from that legal I feel like that would help the case itself. Like having it up right away is like you give the predator or the person that was caught the opportunity to get that video taken out multiple times. So then you have to be creative to not violate YouTube's guidelines, but in a way, it's still violating the guidelines. So it's
Okay.
like it's a slippery slope. Like I don't want like have a good answer for this, but I look at the legal way. Like I think in some cases, I don't know if Jesus would agree with this, but I don't know if they ever been told that hey, make this video public after the case is over, because investigations take a long time. Can you touch on that, Jesus?
Yeah, it's true. There's times where we get told that, but I would say from us, it hasn't happened in a while. Honestly, like cops, like I would say at the beginning when we started doing this, it was like we would get it from like we would get it once in a while, but now I haven't heard it from a cop. So yeah.
So okay, I have someone with an interesting comment in here, and yeah, to a certain point, like I agree to a certain extent. Who was it? Jane. Jane says if they make membership mandatory, donations should stop. Yeah, I mean there should be a healthy balance of the support in that aspect. So yeah.
Good point, Michael.
Yeah, right. Even TCAP aired the bus before cases were fully adjudicated. I mean, that's why I say there should be like a healthy balance. You know what I mean? Like sometimes it's like the best thing of like putting something like private or whatever, just for certain like specific reasons, like legal wise or whatever. But at the end of the day, like we all want these people to be out in the open, and we all want people to know, like, hey, that person, you know what I'm saying, was trying to do this in our community, and I get that part. The exposure is the most important thing, and it's the whole point
Sure.
of these channels, like to begin with. So I get that part. I just think I don't know. Sometimes I wonder if there could be like a healthier balance of like what should be private and what shouldn't. I'm trying to see if one of the females of the community is able to join, because I want to hear a female give her point of view and feedback that's been on in this community for like a while. And so I've reached out already, but I don't know if they're going to be able to make it. I mean, yeah, if she can, hold on, just to get like a different perspective, because obviously, you know what I'm saying, us males, we might think a certain way, or we might express ourselves a certain way, but it's always good to have a female's perspective on this type of matter.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Yeah, definitely.
So let's see. While I do confirm on my end, y'all can stay right there if y'all want to. I'm not ever gonna kick anybody out, but I am going to hide my face for like a few seconds and share a clip of a recent video that Musa, I believe, like put up on his channel a little while ago. So y'all can continue conversing amongst yourselves in the meantime while
Nice vocabulary. Because people think it's conversating. Like I hate when somebody says the word conversating. It's not a word.
conversing. All right, so give me 1 second, guys. All right, don't go anywhere.
Okay.
Up the escalator we go. You see, the prey is about to be the predator. You see him coming up the escalator slowly. You see the Pennsylvania Zoo.
Who's this guy?
The first catch of Musa.
Oh.
As you see here, we're going up another flight escalator. Jesus, we should do commentary.
Oh man, I'm
You
too busy.
see, you
I'm too
see,
busy.
we have the house section of the store. You have the furniture here.
Jesus, you getting on the road tonight?
On the road, we're not going nowhere tonight. We're staying. We're gonna start. We're decoying in Houston right now, so
Okay.
that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have a decoy phone on me, so
Okay.
I'm gonna spend my time decoying.
How's the semester going?
It's going. I took a midterm yesterday. I think I did good.
What's your major again?
It's construction management.
Nice. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, so I'm not able to be on the road as much, but as soon as the summer's here, I'll probably head out with the boys again.
So you're probably OSHA certified.
Yeah, I actually took a class to get my Ocean 30 card. I'm still waiting for it to get here.
What about OSHA 9?
No, we just gotta take. That's all we gotta get an Ocean 30 card.
Let me explain something to you.
So what you talking about, 15-year-old? I'm not talking about no 15-year-old. Sorry. Yeah,
Hey.
Do you want to talk? I'm not here to hurt you or anything like that.
No, I'm not here.
I just want to talk.
I miss being a student, bro. It's been 2 years.
I'm not here to meet no young.
I'm done being a student, man. I still got like a year left.
I'll do your papers.
No, I'm
You want to
not.
have some car fun?
I mean,
Son, that's you.
I'm not taking classes where I have to write papers. So.
My name is Tim.
Your name is Tim now?
Enjoy it while you can, guys. Me and Jay are a couple years
My name
older.
is Larry.
I'm 29. I'm 29.
You say yeah. You say your name is Larry. You say you.
Okay, yeah, so you're not
I'm not
You
here
say
to
you
meet no
see
young.
me 15
too far behind.
I finished college when I was like 27.
All right, you go ahead. I'm saying you go
I'm
ahead.
not here.
I'm saying I'm not here to hurt you. You're free
I'm
to.
here. I'm here.
You're-
to look for people.
You're
like
free. You're
me.
free to. You're free to go anytime you want to, or anything like
I'm
that.
not
Just stay
here.
armed distance away from me, because
I'm not
I
doing
will.
nothing.
I will protect myself. I got you on it.
Let me see Jesus. Where's
You here to
Jesus'
meet- How old you
Instagram?
was? 34. You here to meet a 15-year-old kid?
Jesus,
That's what you
check
say
your
you here to meet a
DMs.
15-year-old.
No, I'm
That
not.
you want to have
Yeah.
fun.
No, I'm not.
That you want to have some fun, right?
So
what is- Come on, we
Have
can.
you
All
arrested?
right, we can have you arrested right now for coming. I got all the chat logs, everything. I got all the chat logs and everything.
I got you.
I got.
buddy.
I got you. You're the one that's here to meet a 15-year-old.
But
You're
you didn't
here.
have my picture
You're
at the
here.
beginning,
You're
so
here to
I
meet the
didn't- no, I'm
15-year-old.
not.
You just confirmed it when
No, I'm
you just
not.
coming out of the bathroom.
I'm not
You
here.
confirm.
I was here to go to the bathroom.
You just
and
said a
purchase
15. Come
something,
on, back
buddy.
up a little bit, buddy,
I'm going
because
to
I will
the
protect
office.
I will protect myself. You're here to meet a 15-year-old. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Quick.
Call the cops.
Go ahead. Quick. Go ahead. Quick. Go ahead. Quick. Get it up.
Trooper Scott here,
Yeah.
7th Street.
Mm-hmm. Look at him. He trying to play now.
Alright.
Look, he caught. He caught you.
I got you,
You got
buddy.
in trouble for this before, right?
No, I haven't.
You got in court.
No, I
Yeah.
haven't. I'm not
You're-
here to meet
you're-
nobody, buddy.
I got you
I'm gonna tell
already.
you right
I
now.
got you. I got
Which
you already.
Teletubby is this?
All right.
Skinky
I'm about
Winky?
to tell everybody up in here what you up in here to do.
I'm not here
Skinny
to
You
do
ain't here to
nothing,
meet
Twiggy.
a 15-year-old.
buddy. I got money. I can purchase
All right.
something
Go
here.
ahead. Go ahead. Walk. Go ahead. Walk.
Damn,
you?
skinny Twiggy.
I don't drive,
You
buddy.
don't drive. All right. Go
I
ahead.
don't
go ahead.
drive.
All right.
I don't drive, buddy.
This is for my safety and your safety.
I don't drive,
That's
buddy.
why I got this camera
I'm
on
here
right
buying
now.
some.
All right. Go ahead. Go ahead, Bob. You're just
All right.
the same person that just.
I might be getting some
that-
confirmation
that-
over here on my end.
I know.
Possibly
What color hoodie you have on?
one or two of the
Yeah, you
OG
did.
supporters
Yeah, you did. You forgot. I got
Of-
everything saved.
of this
It's
channel.
It's skinny
All
Twiggy,
the chat
not
lines
skinny
saved.
Winky.
All right. Go ahead. Go
Leave me
ahead.
alone now, or I'm gonna have.
Oh my
All right.
goodness.
When y'all gonna
Have
catch
everything
somebody from
saved.
my 600-pound life?
I have everything saved. I have all the chat lines.
Something, buddy.
All right.
If you
Go
leave
ahead.
me alone now. If
All
you
right,
don't leave
go
me
ahead.
now, I'm having the books.
I'm gonna have them. They coming. All right.
Oh my goodness.
To get you guys like
My
this.
bad, y'all. I'm over here trying to like. This is tougher than trying to get Beyonce to
I
do
here
a
to meet a
concert.
15-year-old.
Jeez, I thought I was smooth, man, but
The females are busy, huh, Jay?
yeah, man. I mean, I get it though. I get it.
I know.
One of them
Skinky
specifically.
Winky.
Oh my God. Okay, hold on. Maybe she might be in here. Hold on, give me 1 second.
Can you buy me something?
Right?
Like, damn, a brother needs his
Oh,
protein
Larry
right
here
now.
trying to meet a 15-year-old kid.
Like, come on, my
Jelaya
body
Jelaya
is
says
The guy just
we
came
just
here.
done. Hold
He
on,
thought I
where
was
is it?
he
This
thought I
one.
was a 15-year-old.
The one.
And he's coming here to meet.
just
He's coming here to
join,
meet a
man.
15-year-old kid.
That's what I'm saying though. It's real quick.
That's what he
I
came here to
promise
do.
to
Meet a
God,
15-year-old
I'm
boy.
not gonna
I had to
hold
end my
anyone
workouts
hostage
to
like
come do
Rami
this.
did.
Well, I got all the chat logs and everything saved. So you're more likely gonna be getting arrested.
Jay, if you don't mind me asking, who's this
Everything is
predator
saved.
catcher here
I
in the
got
video?
everything screenshot.
Musa.
So you can say anything you
Musa
want
is
to.
correct. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna start catching him. I never watched him before.
Really?
Yeah, I've never seen him.
No.
This is the
Larry
one.
right here.
This is the one that I said he got arrested
Larry
before
came here to meet a
Thanksgiving because the
15-year-old
cop
kid at
misconstrued
Stop
shit.
Yep.
Came a half hour
I
away.
apologize for cursing. I know this is supposed to be family friendly.
Oh man.
Now you got him. He's deleting the app off the phone. He's acting like he's calling the cops.
Everything is already screenshot and saved.
Like, you can't delete for digital evidence, bro. There's something called forensic evidence.
Hold on, y'all.
Now you see, he has the dad jeans on with his stupid little golf hat. Now he's going back upstairs with a walk of shame, about to incriminate himself.
Got him.
This dude got
He right here.
no
The police
muscle
outside.
mass.
All right.
You guys ever see Hunted and Confronted?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I
And
do like-
my bad, by the way. I'm over here multitasking, so if I don't say nothing in a bit, it's my bad.
I do like that
Yeah.
lady that comes in at the end for him. She just is inspirational.
Is it me, or is it
I
how
have
come
your
we never
chat
see none of
logs.
these
I have
predators
everything
and
saved.
like they're like in shape. They're not like even
You want to
built.
meet me in the first stall in the bathroom, right?
They all have the
Guy here to
same
meet a
look too.
15-year-old boy.
Like, they're not
He
physically
thought I was
built.
a 15-year-old. He was going to meet.
This gentleman's following me and recording me and think he's doing
Variety TV, what's going on, man? Blessings and love to you. Oh my goodness.
He's following me.
Hold
He
on.
needs to stop following
Do you have
me.
any more?
Jesus. All right. Hold on, yo.
You have any more questions, Jay Quizzy?
I mean, I do, but I'm like I said, I'm trying to get Beyonce on here apparently. And
All right, we're not going to the left. I'm sorry.
Listen.
Knocks on wood.
No, it's because I really like. Again, I'm only interested in getting feedback and opinions from
I know.
OG supporters and people who used to be like moderators and stuff like that. Because
You can't be going to the left.
so I just want to hear from like those types of people. You know what I mean? Because everybody has their opinion, and everyone's opinion is valid. However, when it comes to OG supporters and people who used to be moderators of these channels, you know what I'm saying? There's just a little more insight that can be provided. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So let's see.
Where my OGs at, yo?
All right, hold on. I'm gonna press pause because I do believe one of them might be on her way making it here, maybe, hopefully. But I'm gonna just go back to showing my face in the meantime. Wow.
Look at that beard, though.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? Like, most people think I'm like, obsessed with like maintaining my beard. That's a misconception. I hardly ever take care of my beard. So
He's looking like the Puerto Rican Puerto Rican recreation of Jesus.
oh my goodness. And some actually I don't know why, but they've held me to that standard. I'm like, nah, bro. I'm nowhere near.
Did you
I'm
carry
nowhere
your
near.
cross?
Wait, what?
Did you carry your cross?
I mean, every day. I carry my cross every day. All right, so without further ado,
Let's give a red carpet welcome to
Beyonce. Actually, no, it's Jen.
Oh no!
So, Jen, I am so sorry that I interrupted your sleep for this. I am so sorry.
I've seen Jen around in all these different
That's not fair,
pages.
bro. Come on.
I feel terrible, yo.
This better be good.
Well, that's what we're saying. We hope it's good from your end. So, I do truly apologize, and I promise I'll make it up to you at some point. But
You
the
better
fact that
Venmo
you
her $50.
Hit the Cash App.
oh my god!
Okay, what's
all
up?
right. So, you have been a part of this community for the longest time. You've been here probably like before I was, and you've seen these predator catchers do what they do. You've seen the community grow. New people come in or whatever. In general, just your personal opinion and feedback from how things have been going on since you started watching these catches and supporting them up until now.
So, like, do you want me to speak on anyone specific or just the whole
Just in
community?
general, you can say whatever you want.
Oh
That's
God.
totally up to you. But just in general,
I mean, I think it's just like any other community. There's its ups and its downs. There's a lot of bullshit drama for no reason too. Like a lot of it is really childish. It's just how it is in any community though. But it's a good it's a good thing. Everybody's doing a good thing for a good cause. But it's
right.
grown like crazy, and I don't even want to be a part of I don't even like getting involved in much anymore because there's a lot of crazy stuff going on.
Agreed. Yeah, like, and I'm glad you said all those things because that's kind of like what I was hinting at earlier. There is ups and downs, but in my opinion, for whatever reason, the downs have been like creeping up a lot more these last few months than like the ups. So meaning there's a lot of toxic people within the community now, and that really, I'm not gonna lie, it bothers me a little bit, only because like when I first came in here, you could tell and you could see like the positive energy, across the board within like the live chats, the streams, and all that. And like nowadays, it's like some people make it out to be something else, like some type of like competition between catchers and all that. And I'm like, yo, it's not what this is about. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
is there anything that you think that these channels should or could do? You know what I'm
Stay
saying?
out of each other's way. If you don't like each other, then leave each other alone. I don't get it. If you don't like someone, just leave them the fuck alone. I don't know why it's got to be this big, huge.
Don't set up the boxing and an MMA match across the country, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't even know what that means because I'm so out of the loop. I'm always like hitting up Constantine, like, what's going on?
Mm-hmm.
What's the tea? And he's like filling me in every now and then. But like, I mean, I've been thrown into some bullshit myself, and I'm not even like a catcher, so I can't even imagine what the catchers go through. But it's
Some of the past catchers wanted to take it to the ring.
yeah, it's a little childish.
Yeah. I feel stupid for getting involved in the drama. Like I just blended into it, and then I realized it took a toll on me. I was like, "What the fuck am I doing?"
Yeah, I used to
And
be
you
like way
warned
more
me.
involved.
You warned me. I forgot when, but then I remember I spoke to like JDQ 2 months ago. Because I need to pull myself out.
Right, I remember.
Nothing personal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, like I literally disappeared for the longest. Nobody saw me because I was so tired of going in chats and seeing people talking about me or hearing whatever. And now I just really don't care. Like I don't even get upset. I see somebody say something about me and I just laugh because nobody knows me in real life. But for the catchers, I just think they should just stay out of each other's way. That's it.
Exactly.
You don't have to like each other. They don't have to agree with their approach. So who cares? Let them do what they got to do. They have their own supporters for a reason because their supporters like how they do shit.
Right.
And everybody else just leave each other the fuck alone, please. That's it. And JDQ, leave me the fuck alone when I'm sleeping.
Oh my!
My phone was bzz, bzz, bzz. I'm like, no.
Is okay. Real quick before I let you go, just let it be known. This is like the first time I actually DM you in like I don't know how long, like months, potentially even like close to a year, even if that. Personally,
JDQ, you text me every single day.
Man, get out of here. Stop, yo. No,
No, I haven't talked to you in a minute. No, yeah, it's been a little while.
Appreciate that. Thanks for
Yeah, I
clearing
got your
the air
back.
somewhat.
It's called business days. We'll get back to you in like 6 business days.
Oh my goodness. Anyways, Jen, I'm
No, you know
sorry.
I got your back. Anything you need, Jay.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. And you can go back to sleep. Hey, everybody, please send her some Cash
Spam
App
her
money.
phone. Spam her phone.
You could plug your Cash App, Jen. Go ahead.
No,
Hopefully...
I'm good. All right, guys. I'll talk to you.
All right, Jen.
All right,
See you
take care.
later.
Thanks for being
All
here.
right.
Thank you.
How do I get off this thing?
I got you.
Leave studio.
All right, so yeah, let it be known. All
Let
right.
Red
I got Brother Red in the backstage right now. He's gonna join us with some amazing insight. What's going on, Brother
Prophet
Red?
Red Hood.
Oh gosh.
Jesus, I can't even hear you.
I just fucking woke up. Like, I wake up, the first thing I see is, yo, blessings and love. Here's the link.
Damn, bro.
My bad, bro. I don't know. Like on the days that I'm actually feeling like up to the challenge and like being on here and like doing my thing, I feel like I don't know. I mess up in other areas. Like yo, I'm sleeping. Like, oh yo, like I just got off like a 12-hour shift. Like what the heck?
Oh, I'm at the gym.
Yeah, exactly.
Yo, LaRoche did the same bullshit. Like,
Bro,
what's the story? We were scheduled to do it like 1 to like 12-ish. I just woke up. I wake up and I'm already like 5 minutes late. So what's your story? Like, fuck, man.
All right, hold on. Brother
yeah,
Red.
like when I was in the middle of a freaking bicep curl.
Oh God, my bad, bro. I am so sorry, and I know what a good pump, how important a good pump is. So that's my bad, bro.
It's all good,
Brother Red. My bad. I interrupted you, Anthony.
It's all good. I'm done.
Okay. My bad, Jen. Again, I'm so sorry. I apologize. But Red, I don't know. I know you just woke up and stuff, so I'm pretty sure you're not up to date with like what the stream is about. But real quick, you've been in this community, well, a part of this community for a while now too, right? You're an OG supporter and viewer of some of these like catchers and everything. Bro, give me your honest, genuine feedback of like how it started and how it's going, and is it going to where we needed to like get to as far as like getting convictions, putting people behind bars, getting the help and support of law enforcement and police, or is it going the other route?
It's about to go down.
Go ahead, take your time too. All right.
Wait, so what was the question again? No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I mean, it's come a long way. I'd assume because, in the beginning, Alex was freaking boxing people, but now it's definitely come a long way, and it's usually that's a good sign. It's sprouted from just being this little seedling to being this whole fucking thing, like this big ass thing, like branches, like new alliances. It's definitely come a long way, and I think those who have helped each other have grown. With the exception of a very few, everyone has pretty much developed new tactics. Everyone has pretty much grown and evolved. And you can see that in the amount of convictions that every single group is getting, regardless from where they're from or who they've taken advice from. It's just I see it as like a snowball effect. It's like getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, to where like I don't like holy crap. In the past few weeks, so many like big time names like getting caught. I mean, Ryan J, PCM catching that guy from that TV show, PvP with the guy from PlayStation, uh, I think Webb from like catching that like that army guy. I mean, all these guys, all these big timers. I mean, it's, people you never would have thought, would do something like that. They're getting caught because you know there are other groups out there. So I mean, yeah, in terms of a, what do you call it? In terms of a, from the catching perspective and where like strictly the catching, it's grown and evolved, and it's done so for the better, I think, in my opinion, and it should continue to grow in that way.
I mean, you actually mentioned something very important. And actually, I think we could expand on it. Um, the fact that some of these catches have been high profile catches are like a huge help to the movement, because you're putting light on important people. You know what I mean? And that kind of like helps the people like realize like, hey, you know what I'm saying? What if there's like more going on like behind the scenes, and what if it's like there's like a ring? You know what I'm saying? A ring involved. Um, and so when it comes to the aspect of like actually getting more attention towards it, I think yeah, that definitely has been going on. There's way more attention to it. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, is that going to be enough? Is that going to be enough to like actually help provide longevity within the movement and what's being done here? That's a question I think we should all ask ourselves
Wait,
day in and day out.
what
Is
do
it
you-
enough?
uh, yeah, definitely. It's like these high profile guys. Like obviously you don't expect them, but then they're there. They're there to be caught, and um, I'll mention one that sticks with me to this day. The one from Toronto. I know Toronto. I mean, in terms of catching or uploading, doesn't really do much. I mean, he's not as on the board as other catchers are. But the thing that always sticks with me from them is this video of like this guy, like this Indian this Indian guy. He comes to he's obviously a creep, and then when he's caught, he immediately takes out his phone, and then like within 5 minutes a random car just pulls up and he just gets into it. So like he had backup, like that kind of thing like just stayed with me since the very time I watched that video, and it's telling because like there's some people who, I'd say 99.9% of people being caught don't expect it. They're ultimately surprised by it, but then there's that 1% that plan for it, that they plan for it to be uh, a possibility,
Hmm.
and they act accordingly. Like that guy, another guy, he freaking recorded a video of himself. Uh, hey, I'm about to see this girl. She claims she's 15. I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm recording this so I don't get in trouble. Like preemptive guilt, something like that. And so, yeah, I think that's the one drawback because, um, like Batman Begins. At the end, they're like, oh,
Mm,
escalation,
gotcha.
escalation. You start carrying automatics. Uh, they buy semi-automatics, or we buy Kevlar. They start using armor-piercing rounds, or like escalation. Like who knows? Who knows? Hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully these guys stay dumb.
Right.
But you never know. You never know. I mean, we've seen it before in many other things. People adapting.
Yeah.
Hopefully it doesn't happen.
Yeah. And again, bro, this is why I love bringing you on, bro, because again, you bring some great points, and I was gonna get to it, but you beat me to it, and I appreciate that. But this is something that I have asked about in the past. It's like, okay, on one end, this is good because this type of content is creating awareness. You know what I'm saying, within the communities, the different cities, states, and all that. And we somewhat putting people behind bars left and right. Getting convictions, blah blah blah. Okay, cool. That's fantastic, and I'm all for that. I applaud it. I respect it. I love it. I love seeing it happen. However, you know what I'm saying. Let's not be too oblivious to the fact that not all predators, what I'm saying, are dumb. What I'm saying. I'm pretty sure at some point I want to, and this is like really like dark what I'm about to like say or whatever, but this is just like me thinking out loud. Okay, the same way that there's like a lot of dumb predators and pedophiles and all that who they get caught and you could tell right away that their IQ is like not that up there. I think there's also a considerable group within the pedophiles and predators community that actually have been studying and analyzing these catches and have been, what I'm saying, like watching from behind the scenes, like sneaking up within the live chats and like watching how things go down, taking notes, studying, like, okay, I shouldn't do that. Okay, I can't do that. Okay, this is how I should do this, and so on and so forth. So at the same time, we're doing a great job, what I'm saying, doing what we're doing. But on the other end, you can't ignore the fact that there's that realistic what I'm saying, like possibility that some of these guys are taking notes and trying to like conform and like mold themselves into doing things a better
Yeah.
way for them. You know what I mean?
Yo, next thing you know, there's gonna be a guy that goes, I know why you're afraid to come out at night. Rosen. See, Alex Rosen has shown you your true colors, unfortunately. How do we solve this problem? We kill Alex Rosen.
Oh my god.
If you're good at something, never do it for free. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just playing. But hey, you never know. Like you're saying, I mean,
it's a possibility.
it's
That's
a
all I'm saying.
possibility. These guys. I mean, it's really pessimistic, but you don't know these guys that are just. You don't know what websites they're on. I mean, these guys that actively. Who knows? Like maybe a good percentage of the people that had flaked are only flaked because they were going to anyway from the start, and their whole goal was to just analyze, study, and
Right.
um and just take notes on how these guys work. I mean, you don't know. There could be a guy. There could be a chat right now on like the innermost parts of the web saying, "Oh, these are how these guys operate. Be careful, you don't get caught." Like shit, like that.
And it worries me. It worries me because you know here we are talking about how much progress these channels have made. These catchers, Alex, Ghost, and Jay. You know what I'm saying? And it's it's kind of like haunting to think, that they've come so far and have been doing what they're doing and getting stuff done and putting people behind bars, and at the same time have been creating not on purpose, you know what I'm saying, because it's not on purpose, but because of how open this information is and how open this content is for the viewing public, they have accidentally, what I'm saying, created, or let me say without the air quotes, accidentally created a blueprint to kind of like somewhat give them a type of like counteract, you know what I'm saying, like to the pedos and predators. And I don't know. Sometimes it's like I wonder, you know what I mean? Like what could go wrong in the near future because of that, you know?
Or I mean, we've had it, in like the innermost parts of this community, we've had it happen already. Um, there was this guy, I think from Sarasota, I think.
Right.
That guy, he was like a catcher. Turned out to be a creep. Like, he turned out to have molested, certain people, and
Wow, yo.
yeah, he was a catcher. He was a cat. No, and he got full blown exposed for it. He's not here anymore. He's not up and about. But that's like the first like red flag. Like, okay, what if there could be catchers? You know, that's why we have to keep our eyes peeled, no matter who you are.
And
Pay
that's the other
attention.
thing.
Yeah,
That's that, and I'm so sorry that if I cut you off, bro, I'm so sorry. I'm so
that's
sorry.
fine.
But if you need to finish, you go ahead and finish. I'm not gonna forget what I'm gonna say.
No. Dude.
You
Go
sure?
ahead.
Well, all I was gonna say was like, you know, the other thing that invades my mind is like, you know, and this is me being talking in general. Never do I ever talk, you know what I'm saying, like about someone specific, but just in general, okay? There could be that possibility in the near future that people who should not be doing this, end up start doing this. You know what I'm saying? And it could be some type of like infiltration. You know what I'm trying to get at? It could be like an infiltration from like either some of the pedos or predators themselves. You know, just kind
Mr.
of like
Peanut Butter. No, but seriously, like there's like you think it's a far off concept. It's really not.
it's really not.
Like it's not. Like you can have people anywhere. Like you never know. There could be someone in here right now, and it could smack you in the face to find out that it's like a big name in the community that's been doing this or has been plotting this behind your back. Like freaking Palpatine when he invaded the Jedi Order. Like, so whoever gets that reference, like hiding in plain sight, like it's gonna smack you in the face. That's why I tell people, like, pay attention. Like nowadays, pay attention to certain people's behavior. Pay attention to how they interact with others, because like those small details that you could just throw away, like that could be deemed as insignificant.
Exactly.
They could tell you a lot about a person, and it's just so. In the end, when you find out that they aren't what they are, it doesn't smack you in the face like it usually will. And yeah, that's why I always tell people just keep their eyes peeled. We don't want another peanut butter, or we don't want a Sarasota on like the next level, because like Sarasota, like, it went pretty unknown. Like um only if you ever tuned in to like a now non-existent streamer, um only if you ever tuned into that guy would you ever have found out about the Sarasota guy,
Right.
because it was just like it happened in the I want to call it the slums of the community where no one goes there. um so I doubt the word got out quickly in time, so it definitely, we want to definitely avoid that happening on a larger scale. But then you never know, like someone could be listening to me speak right now and laughing their asses off because what do you know, they're the ones doing it, or I don't know, but we can be vigilant. There's nothing wrong with, I mean, there's nothing stopping us from being vigilant, so let's just stay vigilant.
True that. Sal, Anthony, y'all have
Yeah,
anything you want to add?
Yeah, I'm still here.
I want
Yeah.
to say something. So I was like, we're still waiting for you to get your first catch. So I'm waiting for you to I'm waiting for you to bring your Bible with you and your iPad and be like, so sir, we gotta talk. Like I see you preaching the word of God during your catches.
Right. No, and I'm pretty sure before I die, I'll get that chance and opportunity to do it that way because
Bro, you had that chance when freaking Massa and Ryan came to Florida.
man, don't come here with that mess, bro. You know exactly what happened. I done told you and some other people that were asking that about that. I was like, what exactly happened? I was like, I can't say anything because you know what I'm saying. Like I'm not trying to like look like I'm making up an excuse. So I just might as well just not say anything. You know what I'm saying? But
Is JDQ scared of a predator?
nah, man, yo, again,
Oh,
don't
Jay,
come
the
in here
one
with
thing
that
I
mess, bro.
noticed.
You know exactly how I feel about all that.
is he
And
scared
look at that. Look at this.
of a predator?
Wow.
Oh, is she threw you under the bus though?
Wow.
You're gonna let
Terrible.
that rock? That is terrible. You're gonna let that rock? Shots
Oh.
fired.
No, but in all honesty, when when the right moment comes or whatever,
The right moment has come by you like 5 times.
You have to preach that gospel, bro.
Yeah, you gotta preach the walk. I mean, you gotta preach the talk and
You
walk the walk.
Patience is a
And then-
virtue.
Hold up.
Yeah,
So
bro.
when you're doing the catches with your Bible, are you gonna give them Holy Communion to repent?
Nah, what I would do. This is the stance I would take when it comes to like my approach or whatever.
You have
Like
exorcism or some shit.
You gotta be
this
biblical.
guy, yo.
You gotta be biblically correct. You live by the
Oh my
word and
goodness,
you
yo.
serve the word.
You serve the word.
I'm gonna come in.
Holy water. Psh.
I'm gonna come in with a small bottle of aceite
That's
masola.
That's
People
it,
are
man.
like,
And then he's gonna pour it on his hand and his finger. He's gonna he's gonna rub it on the person's head.
And then he gets arrested for like religious
nombre
religion.
de Jesus.
No. But on a real note, which Variety TV brings up a good point. But I'm not even gonna put it on the big screen. I'm gonna let y'all read that on your separate time. But anyways,
I'm not a beat it.
I'll just
And then
say
you gotta
this.
baptize them. And what is
No,
what
and
is
then
the
JDQ gets arrested for religious conversion or something.
Oh my God!
wait? What's the body of water
Unwarranted
in Florida?
religious conversion.
What's the big?
conversion?
What's that body of water in Florida? The Florida Gulf Coast.
Wait, say it again.
What's that body of water in Florida? Is it the Florida Gulf Coast?
Man, listen, you
Florida-
asking the wrong guy when it comes to geography.
Florida local man catches
no, you're
predator
not- no.
ministering the word of God.
Yeah.
Arrested for trying to convert a predator.
Christianity.
Jeez, yo. Even Randall saying yes. Everybody's saying, look, if it were as easy for me to like get to an actual, trust me, it would have been done like a long time ago. Matter of fact, the 2 catch attempts that I have, if you're a member of the channel, you can see like one of them was like just like sped off into the night, into the mist, like and to never be seen again.
Dead giveaway.
Right.
You definitely need a fast cameraman. I know that.
Man, listen, I at least need 2 or 3 people with me at all times when I go to do the catch attempts. Just saying.
You do though. You have the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Yeah, exactly. Yo,
aside from God.
No, you already have your 3-in-1. You have the Holy Trinity. That's enough.
True
Yo,
that.
I
True
don't need
that.
no cameras because God is watching right now, dude.
God is watching.
God is watching. I don't need cameras. God has all the evidence.
Oh my
You want
goodness.
the
You
chat
imagine
log?
bringing that up in court?
With the chat logs.
Let God. Let
Now you
God.
carry so you put the chat logs inside the Bible, and then you have it where, like, on the exact verse where they committed the sin.
Oh.
That'd be a good idea.
We ate ribs with this dude, but we didn't have a clue that girl was in that house. No. Oh, but on a real note. All jokes aside, like what I would do within like a confrontation, if possible, of course, because you know what I'm saying, you can't force these things, but if possible, honestly, and I know some people would probably be mad at me by doing this or whatever, and might even be like, oh, like I'm unsubbing or whatever. But honestly, what I would do after confronting them and getting the information and evidence and all that stuff or whatever, getting that stuff out the way, I would honestly pray for them. I would pray over their life. And I would give them a contact of a pastor who I trust, who is vetted by me. You know what I'm saying? And say, look, if you're serious about like not wanting to do this ever again and like changing your life around or whatever, that's completely up to you, and that's between you and God. But if you're serious about it, here's his contact of this pastor. Reach out to him. You know what I'm saying? Get some therapy for yourself, and we'll see. We'll see how serious you are about.
Is it Sexaholics Anonymous?
I like that.
This guy, yo.
My guy, I could get you
Wait, I
therapy.
And
I
in
can get
6
you
months,
therapy.
I think about taking the video down if I feel like you
I can
changed.
get you therapy, but jump in this river real quick to show that you're truly remorseful.
Jump in the Hudson River in negative 20-degree weather. Like, my God, you
But
wanted
that's
to.
Give him
Yo,
10
that's
when he
just
push-ups
that's
and
just
10
my
sit-ups
personal
and say
approach, though.
sorry.
Yeah, Christopher says, yeah, Bryden says, yeah, that's what the Bible tells us to do. Pray for them, and see, that's the thing. That's the thing. That's what I want to get at. It's like, all right, I don't know. I don't know. I
my
can't
Bible, mine
guarantee.
says turn the other cheek,
Well, I mean, yeah, but
not
with what I'm trying to
overmuch.
say here is like while I can't guarantee that person will change, like for real, like genuinely or whatever, which is possible, by the way, but I can't guarantee that. However, I'm giving him the option, you know what I'm saying? And it's going to be between him and God, whether he really does genuinely change for the better and turn a new leaf or not. But I'll at least, at the very least, say, hey, man, you have the option to change. You have, it is possible for you to change. I'm not going to sit here and say, like, oh, nope, no way, ain't no way, no how. There's no changing them. Nope. I'm sorry. I can't roll with that opinion, yo. Like, I've seen people drastically change, like, to a completely different person so many times in the past. People who used to be murderers, people who used to be, I'm saying, robbers, people who used to be drug dealers and all that. I've seen them like
It's
make that
crazy.
complete shift, you know what I'm saying, all together. So I can't say, you
It's
know what I'm saying?
crazy.
So
You know what you should do? Like when you come in these conversations, like have like a stack of White Claws on one side and then the Bible on the other side. If they choose the White Claws, you call the police.
No, bro. There's like a high bar when it comes to this. Like, you're trying to, redirect, these creeps to like a pastor. You have to be quick about it because there's a standard. Because there's a specific catcher out there who's managed to reform a pred completely in under 5 minutes.
right.
So you have a standard to live up to, dude. And if you don't do it, then I mean, like you're falling short, dude. Like you're
Of the
way off.
glory.
Oh my
Falling
God,
short
man.
of God's glory.
He did it in
But
under 5 minutes. That's like impossible, dude.
but I'll just say this. Just to ease people's minds, okay? Just to ease some people's minds or whatever, like in the live chats. You know, the fact that's like my opinion, my own personal opinion, or like my thought process or whatever, you know, it shouldn't cripple or shift, you know what I'm saying, the view on that it's still wrong, you know what I'm saying, regardless. Like it doesn't matter what I think or say or whatever, if indeed a predator or pedophile can be, you know what I'm saying, transformed in that. That's, you know what I'm saying, that's just like my personal opinion. Don't let that cripple your thought process and like to how you think. You know what I mean? Don't let my opinion based off of like my beliefs or whatever cripple or like be a pebble in your path into thinking, oh, you know what I'm saying, he's wrong for thinking that way. Nah, you can still think what you think, and I respect it. You know what I'm saying? I respect everyone who says, oh, they can't be changed. I respect your point of view. Like I respect everyone's opinion when it comes down to it because I understand where it comes from. It's hard to believe. It's really difficult to believe for anyone in that state of mind to change generally. I get that. I really do understand where it comes from. But I respect it. You know what I'm saying? I respect your opinion on that. That's all I'm saying. Is like let's respect each other's like views and opinions on that. Exactly. I've brought this up many times before, man. I've brought this many times before. He used to kill Christians, you know what I'm saying? And then he converted and he got martyred for following Christ. You know what I'm saying? It's
Let's
crazy.
talk about Jezebel.
Yeah.
The adulterers, and what about the adulterers in the Bible? Like, come on. If someone that cheats on their life partner could repent,
That's the
you know,
thing. But here's the thing, and I've said this before, and sorry to cut you off, Anthony, but real quick, before anyone says anything, there's a difference, okay? And hear me closely, yo, because I've said this in the past so many times, and I don't want to be misinterpreted.
nah, you're fine.
There is a difference between just saying I'm sorry and I regret it and I turn a new leaf, and there's a difference between that and like genuinely repenting, you know what I'm saying, and turning away from your sin and actually having like a general transformation. It's a huge difference. I could
Yes.
sit here all day and say, "Oh, I'm gonna stop drinking soda. I promise." Like, I'm sorry, but there's a difference between like me saying it and me like going out of my way to like never allow soda in this house ever again. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's for like the visitors, like there's just a difference. There's always a genuine difference, and you could tell. But never mind. Sorry about that, Anthony. Go ahead and say what you're gonna say.
No worries. Yeah, there is a difference between like saying I'm sorry, like I regret it, and then the correlation with like for me, like it's like actions speak louder than words. Like
Yeah,
it's like
exactly.
we could be like in like for example, I know it's also like going through an episode of depression. You distance yourself and you start doing like irrational behavior and you start acting out like you pull yourself away from people, and then that puts a rift in relationship. So I was in this spot a couple of months ago, and then things were going well for me a couple of like 2 months later, and then I'm like in a very weird situation right now. But it's like I'm right there like mentally, but I'm still struggling. You get what I'm saying? So like I feel like I'm repenting from like my last episode of depression.
Got you.
So I don't know if that's like a weird ideology to use, but can you help me out with this so I don't confuse people?
I can try. I can try.
So like when you get into like a mess like a dark place in life, you start doing things that are not of your character, and people catch on to it. So and they don't want to be around you, but then they try to look out for you. Like they're gonna reach out, and then as you put yourself back into that circle, everything's starting to get better. You just have to have people hold you accountable. Like we're not letting this happen again. Because if it happens again, what am I can't have you in my life.
Exactly.
Everyone has the ability to change, no matter what.
Right.
But the problem here is like it's hard to have change. It's hard to have people repent.
Right. And see, that's the thing. Like there's battles. Okay, there's like battles that we all go through day in day out. Some battles are like bigger than others. You know what I'm saying? Some people might struggle with anger issues. Some people might struggle with drinking issues, drugs, verbal abuse. Some people might struggle with porn. Some people might struggle with anything, a lot of things. And these are just battles, psychological battles, right? Now, um, from the moment you say, "Yo, like I want to change, like I really genuinely want to change. I want to stop what I'm doing and then do better for myself and be a better version of myself or whatever." Like there's steps that you take to, actually correct your way of thinking and your actions. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I know a lot of people have trouble like, pairing the two together. Like, oh, being a pedo and predator is not the same as being an alcoholic or being a porn addict. But when you really, really like, you know what I'm saying, studied as a whole and say, well, it's a psychological issue. It's a psychological issue. And it's a spiritual battle at the same time. So
Yeah, but hold on.
the
If I may,
the
no one's gonna put you in jail because like you're addicted to porn or something like that.
well, I mean, hey man, you could escalate certain actions because of your addiction to porn. And there's
Yeah, yeah,
been
that's true. That's true. Like if you cross that line into cheese pizza, then yeah, yeah. Obviously, you could be put in jail. But then your average Joe who like sees a supermodel like a woman,
hmm
and then gets off to it. I mean, that's like there's levels to this. That's my catchphrase. There's levels to this shit.
exactly. And the thing is, yeah, sure. By you viewing something like you just said, like getting onto it or whatever is like one thing, and it seems innocent. It seems innocent, but all these things that you do like in private is feeding the monster. As much as
And
we don't want to admit it and we don't want to like really talk about it, regardless, whether it be like drinking, porn, whatever, you're feeding that monster. And eventually, if you don't have that discipline, you know what I'm saying,
yep,
to be able to like mentally disconnect from that habit, it could lead to worse things.
we just
So
have to
that's what I'm trying to
rediscover
say is there's
ourselves.
ways around it. There's ways to like get,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, stop
Sure.
what you're doing.
Yeah, I'm sorry that we're still going off topic. Like, yeah, like we have to like be in a season of rediscovery. Like we need to find ourselves. Like, what is our worth? Like, what is going on? Like during this episode of my life, like this is not who I am. So once you find that, like that trigger, and like you're set off to another like area. Once you figure things out, then you're gonna be unstoppable.
Right.
But you can't let adversity like take away like the happiness of your life. Adversity should make you stronger. And no one is exempted from adversity. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The other thing I noticed, Jay, watching these channels over the years is how many of these guys there are. You know, I mean, there's just,
Right.
you know, when you think of someone that may be sick or not all there, or however you want to describe them, you think they exist, you know, but never. I mean, Alex is on the road day and night all year round. Every time I turn in, he's live. I mean, and he's only one catching team, you know. I mean, there are so many. And then they're everywhere. Like I see police captains, I see gym teachers, I see school teachers, principals. It's insane.
No. I don't know. I just I don't know. Maybe maybe it's like the God part, you know, like in me or whatever, or
Yeah.
maybe it's like the way I was raised, or just like the outlook I have in life or whatever. But I'll put it to you this way, and this is kind of like just going back to what I was talking about earlier, just a little bit. You know, there's a reason why when Jesus was on the cross and he had the two criminals on both his sides, you know, there was one that was talking like, "Oh, aren't you like the son of God?" You know what I'm saying? Like, why don't you save yourself, etc. Right? And yet the other one was like, you could tell by the way he was talking, you know what I'm saying, and interacting with Jesus in that conversation. He was like, "Yo, like, remember me, like if you can, like remember me, like when you're up there or whatever." There's a certain I mean, there's a contrast for sure from one criminal to the other. And mind you, some people say, "Oh, the good criminal, the bad criminal." No. A criminal is a criminal. You know what I'm saying? And it was both of them on each of his side. And yet,
Criminal that repented.
right. And the one that repented, you know what I'm saying? Truly, genuinely, he said that, right? And you could tell by the passage he really meant it, what he was saying. And Jesus, you know what I'm saying, forgave him before like the last breaths. And he told him, "Yeah, you'll be with me." You know what I'm saying? And I'm not, again, let it be known, guys. There's a difference between saying it and
And
actually being
doing it.
genuine about it. And you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just know. Sometimes you have this gut feeling when someone's like actually like being remorseful and like repenting like genuinely about like what they did and all that, and just someone saying it just to, you know,
Just to make you feel like they want to they want to say what you want to hear, but you're not showing it.
yep.
I used to be like that, but you have to take accountability now. You can't just half-ass it no more. And like
It-
with you, when it comes to these predator catcher videos, like when you critique them, is like you do a good job at analyzing like the body language of these people getting caught, and you be like, you could tell like which one could be remorseful, which one will not be remorseful.
exactly.
Like you pick up on it, like with the intuition, like us as Christians, like people of God, like we have the ability to discern, but when we're not all there, we can't discern things. Like we're just like blind with tunnel vision. But another thing, like to critique your analytical skills with the videos, is like you do a good job, as I said in the beginning of the sentence. And that's one thing I appreciate about your videos. Like you do a good job at like critiquing them. You got people that just stop and just have the conversation when they're confronted.
Exactly. But
And
because
like question retort, or out of like all the like videos you critique, how many of them you think would like repent? It would be like a very small percentage,
very small,
like less than 10%.
yeah. But see, even if it's that less than 10% that genuinely like have that remorse and like regret and really genuinely want to be transformed and like, you know what I'm saying, step away from that type of like mindset and that type of like sin, it's worth giving them the option rather than
Yeah.
saying you're never gonna change, you're screwed, you're going straight to hell, like no chances of you, you know what I'm saying, having a second chance at life.
Again, there's levels to it though, because
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
you're not
No,
gonna
I
say
agree.
that to like this 70, 80-year-old motherfucker trying to go
Nah,
after someone
hell
who's
fucking
10
no.
years old.
There's no repentant 80-year-olds. I'm sorry.
There's you no, that's like that. Yeah, that's true. You like it's like people think, oh, they're all the same, but like there's time for someone who's like fucking 25, even 30, someone
Yeah.
relatively young who hasn't lived as much compared to this old motherfucker who's had an entire lifetime worth of common sense and knowledge to know that he should know better. It's like
Exactly.
70. It's those motherfuckers think, oh, I'm 70 years old. I'm about to die anyway. Why the fuck not? Those kinds of guys that are like, no, like there's no, like Grandpa Mike, like that guy. That guy is just disgusting. That guy looks like fucking. I don't know if anyone's seen the Harry Potter movies. The third one.
Dumbledore?
No, he looks like Peter Pettigrew, like the guy that betrayed Harry's
Oh,
parents, sold him out
oh
to
no.
Voldemort. He looks like that guy, like the guy
But
who
see, okay,
rat, the
but
guy who was
see,
a rat, and then he got turned back into a human. Like he looks like that, Grandpa Mike. Like it's people like that, these older guys
Timothy's.
had a
Oh
lifetime worth of
my god.
knowledge and experience that
but see, here's the thing though,
they still choose to do it something wrong at that old age.
and I get that, and I agree with you, Red. I agree with you. Now, what I believe should be done in those cases, lock them up, throw away the key, right?
Yeah.
And while they're in there, locked up, and the keys thrown away, with no chance of like bail or whatever, right? For life, in there, while they're in there, give them that chance. You know what I'm saying, to like be transformed. That's what I'm saying. There's
Exactly.
like there's the same way that there's levels to this thing, like you said. There's also levels of like how to go about it and how to deal with it, like isolated incidents of like you just said, like an 80-year-old guy who should know better. You know what I'm saying? But he's allowing his demons to get the best of him and like just doing what his mind is telling him to do. You know what I'm saying? Like there's ways of handling this a lot better than just to say you're going straight to hell and there's no hope for you. Period.
Yeah,
Why?
I mean
They
it's
should
like
just go on an island. Survival of the fittest.
yeah, I mean it's like like you can't like um you can't like completely discard the possibility of isolated incidents because like I'm saying um these like I'm gonna use Rami's catches for example. Like
Oh
these
God,
people
no.
are
Oh my god.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Go ahead.
these guys
Are we
are
gonna jump in
caught,
the river?
no, these guys are caught late at night,
Hmm.
2 o'clock in the
2
morning.
to 3, 1 o'clock a.m. They're horny as
Witching hours. Isn't
Oh
3
yeah.
a.m. witching hour?
Yeah, no.
they're
It's the
horny as hell. They're as horny as any people could be. And I guarantee you more than half of the people he catches are isolated events. Because I
Right.
can see I don't know, something just tells me that this guy, if it weren't for the way he talks to them and the way he kind of eggs them on,
Yeah.
kind of talking sexual, which you're not supposed to do. If it weren't for that, if it weren't for that kind of egging on, they would have listened to their higher judgment and they wouldn't have met up. I will die on that hill. These guys, if it weren't for his nagging and for his basically luring them in, like this is you talk about luring. Oh, they wouldn't lure you. This guy lures them in,
Right.
talks sexual to them, which you're not supposed to do.
Mhm.
If it weren't for him doing that, half of these guys would listen to their higher judgment and not go to meet. That's what I truly think, and that's what I'm talking about. How like some of these guys could be isolated events. Like
Right.
some of these guys could
Oh
just
my
on that one day where their inhibition wasn't working.
Right.
You
This
can't
is a good
discard that
point.
possibility.
Yeah.
You make
No,
a
I
good
agree.
point.
I
You make
I
a good
agree with that
point.
1,000%. That's a realistic way of looking at it. To be honest with you.
Can I add on to this? So
Yeah.
I feel like the way he does his catches, like not like what Red Hood gave me, based on what he said, it gives me like this ideology of, like it feels like Rami's doing like stuff like it's a form of entrapment, like he's like antagonizing the situation. He's like, oh, we're gonna do this. I was like, you gotta do it like this and stuff. Like, I don't see no other catcher doing that approach. Like, he's just in the car and stuff. Like, oh, we gotta catch 2 predators. We're about to catch this. Like, tell him like this and that.
I've
Like,
never
if
seen.
you see the approach that I'm like he does, it's like
It's like in Rami's case, I feel
I'm having a
like
hard time explaining it.
I feel like he kind of like forces the catches. To be honest with
Yeah,
you,
No,
like in
like
my opinion.
I've never
and you're
seen.
not supposed to do it like that.
I've never seen someone lose their shit over.
I can't.
You know, he was like, like on his. I think his decoy was typing the messages, and then he's like, take the phone. He's like, what are you doing? Yo, you can't forget the he at the end, dude. I like, yeah, I've never like someone lose their shit for the shit that isn't important. Yeah, it's like he makes a big deal out of the most minuscule shit, but that just goes to show his incompetence, which we're not unfamiliar with, any of us. The point is, my original point being that, you know, in terms of those being isolated events, I mean, you can't discard the possibility, because I guarantee you, half the people he catches, if it weren't for his egging on and
Yeah,
engaging with
antagonize.
them sexually, they would not have gone. They would have listened to their higher judgment. They would have
Yeah.
listened to like that part of them telling, "Hey, don't do this. Don't meet with no 15-year-old or whatever the hell," and they wouldn't have done it. Half of these guys wouldn't have done it if it weren't for him nagging on, nagging.
Exactly.
Exactly. It's like you can't that it's like the biggest example of, you know, isolated events. Like just that one day that your brain wasn't working correctly. Your one day, like.
I remember this is in the spur of the moment that this happens. Like look how quickly he does this, and it's like he doesn't even have enough structure. It's in this. Go ahead, my bad.
Oh no, yeah, It's in the spur of the moment. Like they're not planned out. They're not thought through, and
Exactly. It's not like they were actively
he's
looking
Doing it
for
on
for kids
purpose.
to like do.
the fact that of the fact that it's late. It's horny city. It's
Mm-hmm.
There's people on there late at night who work. When I say work, I mean operate late at night. You know, they go hook up with guys late at night, especially those who aren't out. You know, and they're doing it very discreetly. Like he has so many factors working for him.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like it's the sincerity is not there. You could tell, like it's not there, because like
Exactly.
if he did it properly, he wouldn't. Like if he actually did it properly, he wouldn't be getting half the catches he does now.
That's
And he
true.
would be
That's very
getting
true.
prosecutions.
No, he's the one getting prosecuted. I mean,
No, he don't be getting prosecutions though.
yeah, well, yeah. The only prosecution he has is himself. You know, it's 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 funny. It's not funny. It's sad, but at the same time, there's the flip side of that argument. You know, and like
Yeah.
these guys who had their off day, they still didn't listen to their higher judgment. I mean,
Mhm.
it has to count for
Like
something. That
when
they
you're in, I feel like when you're in a spur of the moment, like I don't know if this is like a legit reason. It's like when you're in a spur of the moment, like you have no control of judgment. It's like you're doing things like that. It's like when we like have someone being like condescending, we say like slick stuff that's condescending in the spur of the moment. Like if I feel like you said something offensive to me and I respond back, like I clap back, I'm not doing it on purpose.
No, real quick. I'm sorry to cut you off, Anthony.
I'm done.
My bad, bro. But
there's someone misinterpreting what I said.
I know that's what I'm like looking at right now. I'm like, yo, how ignorant, and you know, I'm gonna try to be a gentleman about this and be respectful. But like, how ignorant can you be? That's not what we're saying at all. Like, I think who is it? Goff, Moth of the Void is
Yeah,
saying.
yeah.
I'm like, that's not what we're getting at all. I don't know how you're getting that from what Fred said. Like, that's not what anyone here like understood from what he's saying. But I don't know if you want to clarify that, Red, or whatever.
Yeah, I
But
mean, it's like
clarified.
it's not right under any circumstances to go meet with a
Minor.
with a child. Like there's it's not right under any circumstances. What I was trying to say is that usually, as everyone and their mother has seen, if you do things a certain way, if you premeditate them a little more, if you do actual research, And if you do the proper protocols that's now widely accepted as the way to do things, you'll have a much better chance of success and actually going through with a prosecution than you do, because like you're not supposed to engage sexually back with them as a
Exactly.
catcher, strictly from a
As a
catcher's
catcher.
perspective.
He's talking about the catchers doing things
Catchers
the wrong
doing
way.
it, you're not supposed to engage with them. You're not supposed to engage with them. You're supposed to give. In fact, you're supposed to give them as many outs as possible.
Exactly.
You know,
Right.
you said your goal. Okay, your goal is to catch these people, but then your goal is to also, you know, provide just this sunshine, the small ray of hope
Sure.
for in general, that you that you won't that there's people out there who actually use their brain, and so you give them several outs, and some of them, not all of them, most of them don't. Some of them do. They get out, they block,
Mm-hmm.
but then of those that do, a portion of them come back because they just can't help themselves. But
Mm-hmm.
Right.
it's on your shoulders. It's your duty to give
As a
them as
catcher.
many outs as possible, because
Sure.
if he takes an out, great. If he doesn't, great, because now you show that you've given them thousands and thousands of outs, and when they ultimately wind up and choose, being of sound mind and body, to do the wrong thing, you have that as evidence. Hey, I give them X amount of outs, and he still didn't do it. And that's just
Right.
going to go worse for him in the courtroom or when he's finally prosecuted. So what I'm talking about is you're not supposed to engage sexually with them. You're not supposed to do that. And that's exactly what he does. And him doing that,
Rami, talking about Rami.
because like he doesn't go he doesn't go for anyone trying to be discreet. He doesn't go for anyone trying to be down low. He doesn't go for like these careful guys
He goes
that
for the most
Alex.
vulnerable.
Yeah, he goes for like horn dogs, or like at late at night. That's when they operate. Where these guys are more prone to do it with anyone of any age. Like I'm not, that's still no excuse to go out and meet a child, but I'm saying he's taken advantage of that. Like where people, especially in Jersey too, like people at that hour just
Exactly.
horny. Like they'll take what they can take. They don't use that higher judgment. So him actively engaging, egging them on, talk back to them. That's not what you're supposed to do. And that's why I'm saying, if it wasn't for him doing that, if it was for him sticking to protocol, he wouldn't be getting even 75% of the catches he does now. That's what I was trying to say. And for you to, I don't know, misinterpret that.
I don't know. I don't know how, like,
He's probably gonna be doing catches for a while though.
the misinterpretation game is strong in the live chat, yo. But hey,
He ain't gonna be doing
I'm glad
catches for
you
a
took the
while.
time to explain it a lot better for the people who you know what I'm saying, like we're a little like
Yeah.
saw it in a weird way or like in a different way. I don't know. But
Well, there's always that one guy in the chat that wants to blow it up. You know.
yeah.
You know that.
Snowflakes. So like he ain't gonna be doing stuff for a while though. Like he probably might have to be off the internet because of the charges he's being hit with.
Yeah. All we're saying is at the end of the day, all that's being said is like, yo, if you're gonna be catching predators and pedophiles,
Be smart,
you know what I'm
not
saying,
dumb.
do it how it's supposed to be done. You know what I'm saying?
Don't get arrested.
Well, I mean, no, like okay, you're supposed like Red said earlier, you're supposed to give that person who's potentially a pred and a pedophile as many outs as possible. Meaning like, hey,
Absolutely.
you know, I'm this, this, and this. Are you sure you want to do this? Hey,
Not
are you sure
jump
you
the
want to do
gun.
this?
I'm
And
only 11 years old. My parents are at home. Are you know?
Are you sure? And
That would be an example.
Real time, so the message gets across. That's
Yeah.
that's your job. That's your job. Like you give them as many outs as possible. 'Cause it can
Exactly.
only benefit you. Like I said, if they take it, good.
Exactly.
Now,
Sure.
if they don't, that's more
Don't
on
keep
them.
egging them on. Yeah. Like if they don't
And
take
then
the
if
bite,
people don't,
move forward.
They
Don't
don't-
keep egging the person on. That's it.
No, but
if
he
people
asked,
don't understand what an
he
out
talks
is,
sexually to them. He's like, oh,
And
I
now
thought,
it is like a hint, like you give him a chance like to not do it.
Exactly.
yeah,
right?
exactly.
Just keep saying I'm 11. My parents aren't
He
home.
just
Is that
jumps
okay?
the gun
You know?
right away. You can't jump the gun like that.
Right.
Because that's when the spur of the moment comes in. It's a flight or
Yep.
would it be
Yeah.
flight or flight?
Yep.
I mean,
Right,
it's usually it's fight and flight because he
Fight and
fucking
flight.
tore the door off like this guy's car doing it. I mean, he goes all commando mode. I mean, that's another subject onto itself, but you could see it clear as day. I mean, you're not like there's no premeditation. There's no work. There's no work put in when it comes to this. He starts the stream and then he waits until he starts the stream to start.
3 hours later.
Exactly.
That's no way to catch him. Like I know better now. Before I used to think that way, but now I know better now. Like you premeditate this. You give it.
Mens rea.
You give it.
Mens rea.
Oh, these guys have been. Oh, the cops come. Oh, how long has this guy been talking? Oh, a few hours. Like.
Yep.
Fuck.
And real quick,
Mens rea.
before y'all continue, real quick, I highlighted just now the last comment from Gothmoth, and hey, I respect you for that. You know the you're, you know what I'm saying, like acknowledging that there was a misunderstanding of what was being explained earlier. I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? We all appreciate that. I'm sure Red Hood appreciates you. You know what I'm saying? Taking a step back to look at the bigger picture and understand a little better what was being said.
He jumped in really late, pretty much. That's what that was.
Yeah. So, but hey, we apologize too if it came off the wrong way.
Yeah.
And if there was a misunderstanding about what was being said, we apologize as well. So I respect for you to, like, you know, taking the time to actually write that, and I'm pretty sure Red Hood appreciates that too, because we don't want any misunderstandings. We don't want to be misconstrued. You know, we don't want any like weird connotations or whatever. So yeah, man, I appreciate you taking the time to say that. But yeah, drone racer.
The do's and don'ts of predator catching.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting, and
Don't
I think I've said that before too.
Don't commit mens rea when you're doing predator catching.
Yeah, look at this. I like this. A flow chart showing what to do depending on what the pred does or says might be better for. Yeah, I agree. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Maybe both at hand and in your mind, but for sure, I think that would help for sure. Any catch, especially ones that are starting out that don't know necessarily all the do's and don'ts and all that stuff. But yeah. Geez, this has been an interesting conversation, and it actually went a lot better than what I was hoping for. And it's thanks to you guys that are on here with the panel with me, and of course the viewers and people chiming in with their comments and all that. I could be on here for a little longer. If
And can somebody help elaborate what I meant by mens rea to Michael? Because when I think about, like, when I hear premeditated, like the first thing that comes to my mind is mens rea. Because he premeditated in his head, and I forgot about the second one. Like on the third one, he acted on it. Does anyone know what mens rea is?
No.
So it's like a term of like premeditation. It's like I think about it, I say I'm gonna do it, and then I act on it.
Gotcha.
Right.
Okay.
No, yeah, I have the definition in front of me right now. The intention or knowledge of wrongdoing that constitutes part of a crime, as opposed to the action or conduct of the accused. I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean, so what are you trying to say? Like you know,
the way he does it, like it's easy. Like that case can get thrown out. Like his approaches and stuff. If a cop just watches his whole live stream, like what? Like they're gonna be like, what is this idiot doing? Like
he planted those thoughts in the creep's head.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's what you mean?
Yeah, like the way he does it, but like these people that he talks to, they jump the gun. Like we talked about the spur of the moment. We have other catchers who take the time to have the conversations that last days, months. In their case, like his chats last minutes to hours.
Yeah. And so you could easily say that he is the one who initiated the sexual content, and he's the one who planted those initial thoughts in the guy's head. He's the one doing that. You could easily misinterpret, and not even misinterpret. You could interpret, because this guy is such a monumental fuck up. He does so many things wrong. I guarantee you, there's things that we aren't even thinking of that he does wrong. I mean, he got like Jesus, like it's like you see it clear as day. Like this is a case like exclusive. Like there's no other catching group that's this stupid. There really isn't. Like there's just not. There just doesn't exist one. Everyone else has evolved or grown in a certain capacity, and it's just in a way it's fascinating because like you see this is like the sacrificial lamb. This
Right.
is the sacrificial lamb. This guy fucks up so many times, and the only good that comes from him fucking up is to let the rest of the community know what not to do.
Exactly. And then you
True
see
that.
like
True that.
you see
That's a
all
good
the
way of looking
catchers
at
get
it.
arrested for things like for them like being in the right, like they get arrested like because of stuff like that. They gives a bad reputation to other catchers doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I
Like
mean, but what Red's saying is true though. Like it,
exactly.
you know, and to a certain extent, it does act as a an example of like what not to look like, what you know, how not to act, how not to operate, and so on
And
and
I'm
so
pretty
forth.
sure it doesn't have to be in the catching rule book not to threaten someone with castration. So
Right.
Where is this thing
it
where
should
like
it should just be a no
the
brainer,
terroristic
right?
threats?
yeah, where's like like everyone knows that. I mean, it's not believe it or not, it's not the first time he's threatened to castrate. That's not the only incident. He's done it like at least 2 other times.
Even in Egypt too.
Oh my
Yeah, I
goodness.
mean, but Egypt's Egypt. Here is here. You have rights. Like you can't be
Yeah.
forced into the back of a car.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not. Yeah, it's.
I
Yeah,
need to be like brought about that. Like I didn't see that one.
yeah. Well, that conversation is for my stream. We plenty of shit talking here. On this stream, I feel like we should kind of more steer towards
Yeah.
the more ethical side of things. I think that obviously everyone has their different approach, but then he demonstrates clearly like the approach that one should not take. And if you don't follow that approach, then you're gonna see so much success. Like it's not you could in a way is like what Alex says is true. All you need is a camera and to want to do it.
Yeah.
And if you follow said, I mean, there's tons. I guarantee you, like, there's tons of people here, decoys and such. If you just hit them up, they'll be more than willing to coach you on what to do, how to do it, and the ins and outs. Very detailed because, like, that's what they're there for. They're there to help. And so, I mean, to anyone asking advice, how could I do this on my own? I mean, I don't know. Maybe try hitting up one of the decoys, like,
Hmm.
who are reputable and they'll be happy to coach you and instruct you on how to do this without getting yourself in trouble and without landing yourself in jail for castration. I mean, you have a bunch of resources here. I mean, and you have a bunch of people with differing viewpoints, but in the end, it's that unified goal. It's like the bigger picture
Yeah.
here. Yeah, I mean, you could get as many pointers from many different people and then use those different opinions to formulate how you're going to go about certain things.
It's pretty much
Formulate.
common sense too.
Yeah, exactly. Hold on, I'll be right back. Well,
No, you're good. So as Red Hood
Right said.
gathers himself and all that good stuff, um, I think it was either you or actually Red Hood who brought up like the whole like going to like a reputable like decoy and getting
Yeah.
like the inside
Yeah.
of like how things work, right? It brings me to like my next question, and this is gonna be a really really delicate one, okay? Because I got nothing but mad love and respect for like all the decoys out there doing what they do because technically to a certain extent they're like the lifeline of these catches, like the people
Yes.
doing decoy
Mhm.
work, right?
Sure.
Now I have a question that I hope you guys can expand on with your opinions and feedback, but as far as like having channels out there for like the decoy work, you know, and I'm glad because I have someone in the backstage right now that might actually be able to give us some of the better insight and feedback opinion on this matter. But as far as like decoy channels work, um, should their channels be out there like the way they are, so out in the open to the public eye as they are, or should they be a little bit more discreet, more private? You know what I mean? Before we get to the answers and the feedback and opinions of you guys,
discreet.
I mean, yeah, in my opinion, but
Mhm.
we have none other than Jaime in here. God bless,
Yo.
sister. What's going on?
Hello, hello, friends. Hello. How
How
are
are
you
you doing
guys?
today?
Today,
I'm
why are you
good.
in this
Oh,
very
I'm good.
accent?
Sorry, I literally just woke up, so like I'm on
Another one.
my phone right now, and I'm about to like brush my teeth. Sorry, y'all caught me at a really interesting time. So, yeah, how are y'all?
I'm
We're
good.
doing great.
Doing good.
We
Cool.
got the
Too.
formal introduction to South Philly for the first time here. And of course we got Anthony in here as well. I know you know Anthony for like a good while now. Same thing with Red Hood. And we had Jesus on here earlier, and we've been having a really interesting
It's
conversation.
funny how I come on and Jesus leaves. Just saying.
Exactly.
Wait, yeah, that's a bit
Yeah.
sus.
He
What's
does.
that
He
about?
doesn't want you to enter the kingdom gates of heaven.
Yep. It's funny how I come and then Jesus leaves. Just putting that out
It's
there.
like he wants you
Yeah.
to go. He wants you to feel God's wrath.
Right.
So I
Look,
would.
Goliath saying she noticed that too.
I
Okay.
would like the way to answer your question. It's like it's an open-ended question. Like there could be a yes or no answer, but like. So what do you mean by like them like being discreet, or like what do you mean like more out there? You mean like showing the chat logs and stuff beforehand?
Well, hold on. Before I clarify that question, uh, do me a big favor, Jaime, because you just got here, and I know you're you're brushing your teeth and all that. But if
Yeah.
you can, if possible, okay, because I want her to like kind of be the first one to like tackle this question, and then of course afterwards you guys can like one by one state your opinion. But what's your opinion, Jaime, on whether or not the decoys should have channels themselves, where they actually do the live phone calls, reveal like the live chats or whatever. You know how like there's always like Decoy has her channel, and so on and so forth, but they do like live calls. Like, do you think that should be a continued like thing to like carry on with that, or is it more beneficial to have that type of stream like privated or like a member situation type thing, because of the possibility of, I mean, God forbid, but the possibility of one of those predators or pedophiles like actually coming across that stream, or someone that they know, kind of like, oh, hold up, that sounds like so and so. Is that him? And then, you know what I mean? Like, what's your take on it? I'll be right
Yeah.
back, by the way.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've actually literally I've thought about this before actually. So it's like, yeah, I mean, there are a lot of like pros and cons to it. Like there is a possibility that someone could find it, especially if like the channel or the catcher is quite well known in the area. Um, but I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean, as long as like the I mean, if I hypothetically, like if I were to have my own decoying channel, like I would definitely like private the video afterwards, because like you could, if if the video is there, you could kind of use it for like, you could use it as like the recording piece of evidence. But I mean, as long as it doesn't interfere with like the the overall work of the catcher, and like it doesn't put the operation at like at risk, or not risk, but like if it doesn't interfere with the with getting the creep arrested and like convicted, then I mean go for it. I mean yeah, like people can do what they want, I guess. But yeah, I mean I don't have my own channel, but like if people want to, then they can. And if that's what you know if they're the people that they're working with is fine with it, then like okay, that's yeah, I think it should be like both the catcher and then the decoy should talk about it and kind of, yeah, have a discussion about it and then go from there. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, what are y'all's thoughts?
I feel like it's like from like this. I feel like it's better to be discreet because you don't want to have it out in the open beforehand, because then it's like you want to be like discreet at all the time. Like you don't want to give it away, because when you're like looking for like a suspect, you want to be discreet and like not know that they're on your tail, because you don't want them to be one step ahead of you. Because a lot of people that are commit crimes or like they're under investigation, they're smart. They know how to escape. Like they know how like to like be one step ahead of authority. So be discreet. Like try to keep like stay a step back and then try to figure out ways how to get this person. Because it's gonna like sometimes like someone's gonna give it away.
What if they did like a Decoy called live stream where it was only for members? I mean, I don't like
It depends.
I don't like the idea of like having to like pay for something like that, because it should be like, for like educational purposes and people should know about it. But yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
It's like you got to be careful at the end of the day too, because like I can't like I don't know how to explain like make it public, because it's a double-edged sword. Like people mentioned, it's like if you look at investigations, like you want to be like a step ahead of the person. You don't want them to be ahead of you.
All right, sorry about that, guys. I am back.
That makes
I
sense.
apologize for stepping away for a second, but I heard most of what Jaime was saying. And yeah, like my issue is, or my concern, should I say, is you never know who's watching. You know what I mean? You never know
Right.
who's watching, and the concern comes in where you know you could have someone who supports the community and what these predator catchers are doing. God forbid, again, somehow at some point being the actual like family member, co-worker, son, daughter, cousin, whatever, neighbor of the person who is being talked to. You know what I mean? And in some ways, it could be beneficial because hey, that person that is like a neighbor or whatever, might be in the community side and say, oh, hold up, let me help out with this catch because I know that person and I could report them to the authorities like myself or whatever. Um, but at the same time, you could have on the other end, if it's a family member, they could look for ways of like protecting that person who's a potential pedophile or predator. You know what I'm saying? Because they noticed that it was so and so, and hold up, that's like my uncle. Oh my goodness, this is so embarrassing. Like, let me go about how to like help them like counter act or like legally fight this or whatever. You know what I mean? That's my concern.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know if that makes any sense to some of you,
Yeah.
but that's my concern.
Yep, that makes sense.
Mhm. My opinion there is I would keep that behind the scenes only because I've heard many predators say when they're speaking to someone, through the internet or they're typing, they say, yeah, I had a feeling you weren't real. But you never heard a predator talk to a decoy one-on-one and say they had an idea that it wasn't real. Usually the decoy is the one thing that makes the predator really feel at ease. So you wouldn't want the predators hearing any of these live calls and getting any information that, they can use to say, well, I had a feeling, the decoy wasn't real either. And Alex was going to show up, So I probably would leave that behind the scenes, but they have to know they're one of the most important things in the catch. I mean, they're just as important as Alex would be.
Yeah.
It's like going to a criminal justice school, learning to become a criminal.
Sure.
Yeah, pretty much. But I mean, I guess the reason why I wanted a female's perspective on this and like a female's point of view is because for the most part, naturally,
Oh,
females tend to be like the nurturing type and the understanding type, the emotional type. So from a female's perspective, who's doing like decoy work, right, and like putting like the live calls out there or whatever, um, I want to assume that like while they're doing the decoy calls or whatever and doing it live, they're somewhat taking into accountability like the family members that potentially might come across the stream, potentially might come across like the calls or whatever. And that being a potential obstacle to cross, because again, you could have family members that want to protect that person that's potentially like a pedophile, like a mother would go above and beyond to prove and try to clear the name of her son, which they're saying that is a pedophile or something. You know what I mean? So in that aspect, in that sense, I would love to hear what Jaime's thoughts and opinions are on how to go about dealing with that type of situation where let's say you're doing a live call and you put in work, you're talking to the predator or whatever, and all of a sudden you get a phone call or a message or whatever from the person's mom or auntie or whatever, and they say something like, hey, that's actually my son who you're talking with or whatever, you know can we please stop that stream or whatever, and we can talk in private, and so on and so forth. How would you manage or deal with a scenario like that because of having the live chat and call being so open in public?
If a creep's mom, friend, or auntie were to privately message me during that, in a situation like that, then I would then if they ask nicely, then I would stop the stream and then talk to them privately. But I would still record though,
Gotcha.
not live, but I would still record for protection purposes and liability, so that they can't say that they said one thing when they really said
They
another thing.
coerce you to say something.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I would do. Yeah. What
That's
about
good.
you?
I think that's that, and to see, this is why I wanted to bring you on, because
Oh,
you know what I'm saying. This is. I'm not saying I was assuming this, but I kind of had an idea that that would be your approach. I call it because you're female, or call it just the way your mind works as an individual. But yeah, this is kind of what I wanted to get at, because if it would have been somebody else, if it would have been someone say I don't know. I'm not trying to speak for anybody, obviously. This is just me assuming. But for someone like Jay from PP Naz, he probably, you know what I'm saying? He wouldn't care. Okay, so you're his mom, and you know what I mean? What
Yeah.
do you want me to do about it? But the
so
fact that you're taking that in consideration and wanting to be private about it and work
Mhm.
things out behind the scenes, obviously while still recording evidence and all that good stuff, it shows me different levels of maturity and uh concern for the family as a whole, rather than just thinking about the predator themselves, because that's another part that a lot of people don't look at, is how the family is affected by what that person's potential actions brings to the family.
perfect. So Jaime, so basically, what you're saying is are we saying you would have a private chat with the person's loved one, yourself, and then probably the alleged perp too, privately, to prevent it from happening?
Sorry, repeat that question. Yeah.
So it would be you would if someone got a hold of you, hey, I know this person, let's have a private conversation. It would be how do I say, a mediation, with the alleged person, then the person's loved one, then yourself.
That's a really good question. I don't know if I would I think I would talk to the parent first, or the loved one first, and then because if the creep is present in that conversation, they can be like, that's not true, that's not true. So I would try to emotionally swerve their
Yeah.
loved ones idea against what's actually happening. Sorry if the outside is so loud, but anyway, I would talk to the loved one on one, so I can tell them what's happening and explain it
Thoroughly.
calmly. Yeah, calmly, thoroughly, and then I just want to make sure that they have a clear understanding of my position before, and what happened, before they go and talk to their loved one. Because if the loved one is around during that discussion, they could get in the way of
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Just look at how
True.
when when cops come to like a scene or like a catch, they usually try to like put one
Dispute.
put one creep in the corner and then put the catchers in the other corner because it's like they want to talk to each of the sides and get the
The
story.
parties.
Yeah, so I would do it that way.
Hmm. Interesting. And yeah, no, that's a really good point you brought up right there. Um, but going back to, and it's gonna be a little weird, but because initially
Red
I
Hood didn't even
wanted.
answer the question.
Wait, say it again.
Red Hood didn't answer the question.
Red Hood. I don't. I think Red Hood's in the bathroom or something like that. But because that's where I had to go earlier.
He's trying to escape Jesus's wrath.
Right.
Wait, what was the question again? Like, so what
I mean,
seriously, what was the question again?
so the question initially was, like, should the decoys like have like the live calls out there out in the open so much like the way they do, the way they have it set up to where it's like super like public and like visible and all that, because you know what I'm saying, that you never know if a family member or whoever is a part of like that potential predator's like life comes across that stream and is a supporter of the channel or like the community and say, hey, that's actually my son or that's my brother you're talking to or whatever. Can we get this like can we talk about this in private and like end the stream because I'm concerned for his like safety, blah blah blah.
For his
And
well-being.
yeah.
Well,
So
using that example, I think I'd steer towards no, because
right.
not only are you broadcasting a how-to, like creep catching 101 to any
Right.
potential interested party, but you're not only doing that, but you're also like you're sending up a flare because like you never know who these people are. These people could, like that one CC Unit catch. Like he was a fan of CC Unit, and then he winds up getting caught by CC Unit. Like, and you never know who
Yep.
exactly. You just never know who's watching. You can't be certain. It was that one day that that this creep or whoever gets a hold, like you, and you gotta prepare for the worst because say like the creep finds out about the channel and about like the decoy calls and
Right.
that stuff, and now he's feeling a bit salty. So
Mhm.
what does he do? He pays attention. He goes on the stream every single night trying to find ways to either, I don't know, incriminate you or bring something down on you, paying attention to your shit. I mean, and if he's really devoted, he'll like, uh, you know, go certain routes in order to disrupt that workflow. I mean, like I said, if you can avoid putting it like publicly, like on live, like no, like the one thing you don't do is show who that person is.
Right.
Um, Voices are really hard to distinguish. Um, Voices are really hard to make out. Um, It'd be another thing if you're broadcasting, if you're showing pictures of who this guy is. That's a big no-no.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of calls and such, I mean, in terms of the immediate catch being affected, I don't think so. But in the long term, like say like when the guy finds out what happened and what channel is responsible for, I don't know, exposing him or something, then you never know. He could take it into his own hands, and God forbid. But I mean, it's all a matter of perspective. It's like me personally, I don't think. Um, see, because remember how you could say that for. Remember how in the very beginning of this thing where you used to put the chat logs at the very beginning,
Right.
and
Mhm.
how no one does that anymore.
Right.
Right, and so
Agreed. Yeah, that's true.
yeah, it's it's kind of like that. It's kind of like that, but I don't know. It's always a double edged sword. With anything you do, it's a double edged sword. Sure, you get content from it. You show how you do it. I mean, well, I don't know why Alex does it. His girl voice is awful, but yeah, it goes to show the interested party that, oh, how you do this, how it works it. But then at the same time, you're also liable to whoever else with not so positive intentions could be watching and could be taking notes as to what to say and what not to say. Um, from afar, you'd be surprised what people grasp by looking from the outside in.
So, hold on, give me 1 second.
Do
I
they see?
appreciate that. I appreciate that. That feedback, bro. I think that was really well expanded. And I'm glad I caught it on on video for further use, hopefully, because that's a really good insight right there. But going kind of like pedaling back to like the beginning of the stream, because Jaime got here like super late because you know what I'm saying. She had to get her beauty rest and all that stuff.
Isn't it like
Um,
6 o'clock in the morning where she's at?
I, what time is it over there, Jaime?
It's 7:48. So like I got your message about the live stream at like 4:45 a.m. I wasn't
Yep.
even awake.
And I
Yeah,
apologize.
I feel it.
I
Honestly,
was
I
oh
forget the whole time difference thing. I apologize.
no worries, okay, no worries. I understand, but like it was a cool like thing to look up to. I was like,
Yeah,
oh wow,
he
he's
has a
running
channel
early
to
today. But then I went on YouTube and I was like, oh shoot, he's already left. Yeah,
Not- so
true.
what I wanted to like ask
Mhm.
you, because I already did this in the beginning of the stream. I got everybody's like personal and genuine feedback of like, as a whole, like this community, this predator catching community, whether it be the catchers or the viewers or supporters, from the moment that you found this community, these different channels that do what they do up until now, what's your feedback and your opinion on how things, have progressed, if they have really genuinely progressed towards like getting more help and support from police and like the authorities and like the legal system, or from the moment that you stepped in up until now, are we like set back, from getting help and support from like law enforcement and like the legal system and all that?
Oh yeah, like I think um I think that things have definitely progressed, or like, well, in certain areas it's progressed, I would say, like, you know, and depending on where you're from, honestly, like I feel like law enforcement in places where, actually, wait, let me really think about this, because on one hand I want to say that the cops have been helping more recently, but then on the other hand I want to say that like sometimes they're not. I guess it's like a situational thing, because I feel like in other states that like, like for example, like, um well, actually I haven't. Sorry, my brain is so fried right now. Why can I never say any? Okay, anyway, um I mean, things have, okay, generally things have gotten better. um that's, yeah, I feel like things have gotten better. That's, I like to be like positive about that kind of thing. But yeah, so I don't know why I can't think right now, but yeah.
No, you're good. You're good. It's just, what I'm saying, whatever comes to mind. So you're good. I'm not expecting like a 10 paper like essay
10
here.
page paper.
Right. 10-page essay here. But like I just wanted like a female's perspective and opinion, because we had Jen on here earlier, but she might kill me later on today because I actually woke her up from her sleep, because she had just come out of a shift or whatever from work, and she was trying to take a nap. But hey, thanks for being on here. I appreciate it. Um, I,
Oh yes, thank
I
you for the invite.
of course, and I'll be getting off like around like 1 p.m. So like in about 9 minutes or so. Um, but yeah, I mean, do you have anything to add that, in your opinion, might work or further the longevity of this movement? You know what I'm saying? Like, because there's things that can be corrected here and there. There's better ways of going about certain things. not having like 10 people on the same catch and all that stuff. Um, but in your personal opinion, what would be the main thing to focus on to provide longevity to this movement?
I think if we just continue to keep the goal in mind, then because I feel like, with like drama and stuff, it's so unnecessary and I really do not understand it. And I don't want that to be the thing that kind of like makes me step back and it's like, oh, why should I even like, you know,
Right.
do this if like people are gonna act this way. But yeah, I think like if we just continue to focus on why we do this, and if you have like the right intention for it instead of like doing it for like clout or like doing it because you want to be like seen, which is like, I mean, everyone has their own manner of doing things. I don't want to like judge anybody, but if as long as like the goal, which is to get creeps arrested, then that kind of would put everything that would like everything would fall into place after that. But I feel like people like to make things about themselves, and they like to kind of step in or like do things, and I don't know. Yeah, that's how I feel. Like sometimes we can lose sight of the goal, which is like I think that's very counterproductive.
Yeah. I mean, I've said something in the past which I think has scared some people because of the way it sounds, like right off the bat. But it's something that you do need to. I mean, when I say you, I mean like in general, like us. We need to consider is oh great, great. Hold on.
Bro, JDQ's house burning down, bro. Fuck.
The roof is on
I think
fire.
I think Rami came
Yo,
here to burn the house down, the apartment or whatever.
JDQ, I'm gonna castrate you, my guy. And then
Right?
went off.
I'm kidding though. I'm kidding. It's yeah. Uncanny Valley is actually not too far off. It's something along those lines. It's not necessarily pizza, but yeah, something that they're cooking over there. Yeah, it's just it's not going well. But anyways, what I was gonna say was, you know, I've said in the past that and I think Jaime might back me up on this, maybe not. I don't know. It depends on, I guess, like the views, like biblically speaking here. And I'm not
Biblically
trying to
speaking.
preach or nothing like that, but I've said in the past that when it comes to these types of crimes and these types of like sins, as the days go by, there's a reality that it scares me, and it really does disturb me a lot. But the Bible talks about things will be as in the days of Noah before the end, right? And yeah, there was like a lot of sexual depravity going on at the time. Same with like Sodoma and Gomorrah and all that bad stuff. And the thing is, what keeps coming to mind is at some point, hopefully it don't happen while I'm alive, but hopefully, what I'm saying, I'm not here to witness it, but there's a possibility that some of these people who are sexual deviants and pedophiles and predators, eventually legally will have their way, and will have that opportunity to do what they want to do with these minors, and it'll be totally legal. You know what I mean? And then, yeah, like what are we as predator catching channels going to do if and when that arises? And I'm not saying this to like sound like a pessimist. I'm not saying this to sound like, what I'm saying, but I'm trying to be realistic. If I'm going based off of like prophetically what is said that like will happen, bad to worse. Um, I don't know, Jaime. What are your thoughts on that?
If
I
that
know it's a delicate
is
topic, but yeah.
Oh yeah, if that is the case, then I do agree that like having catchers would be helpful because if they can't get them arrested or convicted, hey, they can at least expose them. But at the same time, it's kind of like I feel like there is like this is interesting. I feel like people need to have the right attitude when it comes to like catching and working on this kind of like thing. Because if they're, as I said, like if they're in it for like, you know, clout or attention or anything like that, then it can really like we can really lose our credibility. That would be like my only concern in that regard. But yeah, I completely agree with you when you say that like things are going to be worse. It's going to be like the days of Noah, and then like good things will be seen as bad and bad things will be seen as good because that day is coming and that time is coming and it's kind of like already here, in my opinion, looking at things in the world and people who like run our government and all that. But sorry, not to get political, but yeah, I think if that day does come when it's like when it does not become legally feasible to like get these groups convicted, then I think like yeah, exposure would be the next route. So at least like but like professional exposure, not like taking matters into your own hands kind of exposure, because it's like just let your community know who they are and like so that people can stay away from them, I would say, and then let them know like don't like show the chats, but like let them know like why they're dangerous so that they can understand why the exposure is necessary, and then also like the state of the legal system at that time. So yeah.
Yeah. So thank you for that. I mean, I appreciate that. Hold up, y'all. I can't believe this.
I'll
Ram.
chime in. I think if it came down to it's no longer illegal and only the exposure mattered, I think um, I think certain catchers would have a field day.
Yeah,
Yeah,
agreed.
yeah, they'd have a field day. They'd think it's like the second coming of Jesus or some shit. Like they'd
Yeah.
have a field day. If getting convictions no longer mattered, and if it was only about the exposure, some catchers would have a fucking
Oh
field.
yeah. Oh yeah.
You'd see more people being tossed into like the Hudson River and shit like that.
Yeah.
But,
Oh, thank you for that input, Brett. I appreciate that, bro. It is 1 p.m. and this discussion is
ooh, he's gonna leave.
beyond
Oh,
it.
24-hour stream.
Yeah, like lots. Wait,
A brother gotta eat though, you know what I'm saying? Like I gotta put food in me right now. So like whatever they burnt, I have to eat now. So you know what I'm saying? No, but this discussion has been so great and so good, and it's been something I've been wanting to do for like a while now. But
Appreciate you, bro.
it's so good that I'm going to leave it open to like another like a part two, and see how far we could take these conversations because I want the community to be part of like the improvement of the community itself. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So this talk was like
what,
much needed in my
what day is
opinion.
it? Is like, is it today's? Oh shit, today's Wednesday. It could be like freaking
Hey,
the white guy
Boricua
Wednesday
Wednesdays?
pre-show.
Wait, say it again.
The
Los
white guy
Boricuas.
pre-show.
What when White Guy Wednesday was?
Pre-show.
A pre-show? I mean, hey, yeah. I invited a lot of people. Like, well, not a lot of people. I invited a select few for this stream, and I'm glad that most of y'all like were able to show up. So I appreciate that. So I guess we could look at it that way, like a pre-show to the later show tonight. But
Wait,
yo,
is there one?
My fuck.
let's uh let's leave this open to the point where we can do like follow up streams on this because I want to bring other people in here and get them to have like share their views and opinions and insight, especially people like Jaime that have worked behind the scenes, whether it be as decoys or cameramen like Jesus or catchers themselves or whatever. But I want people who have been here for a long time. You know what I'm saying? Like OG supporters and like viewers, people that have been moderators for some of these channels for a while. That's who I want the feedback from. But anyways, to each and every single one of you guys, Jaime, Sal, Anthony, Red, and Jesus, who was on here earlier, I'm beyond grateful and thankful that you guys were on here for as long as you were. And in Red's case, that I woke him up, and Jaime's case, I woke her up. Jen's case, I woke her up, and I feel terrible. That's my bad. I should have kind of like talked to you guys about this like yesterday at least. But it was kind of like a little bit of testing the waters, because this is something I've been wanting to do for like a few weeks now. But I was like, if I don't just up and do it, it's gonna stay in my mind, and I'm not ever gonna do it. So thanks for being here.
This also, Jay. Thank you for having me for the first time here.
Yeah,
Thank
man.
you.
Thank you.
Anybody has any like last words before y'all leave?
Yeah,
I'm tired.
announcement, I just got word that White Guy Wednesday isn't going through because Nate would rather be with his girlfriend than provide an outlet for the cat community. So there's that. Yeah.
I'm reading the live chat comments on that, I think, right now, but okay.
Jay, one day, way off topic, I noticed something else that's getting popular on the internet. Them First Amendment audits. We have to have a talk about them one time.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we'll definitely talk about that on the.
They're all over the place recently.
Yeah.
Amendment.
Yep.
Yep. I agree. It's something that's very, very important to talk about, especially since we're talking about being in the last days and all that good stuff. So
Just go to a government building, JDQ.
That's it.
On expanding.
I'll go to Wall Street. I'll go to Wall Street right now.
Oh my goodness, yo.
On expanding our horizons. If anyone's in the middle of the United States and like in the middle states, if there's any catchers along the middle states like Alex, I mentioned this, but I got no response. Like, would you guys consider ever catching storms, tornadoes, because they ruin kids' lives too?
Hey, there you go.
Oh my god.
There you go.
I mean, imagine like a tornado, like, hey, why are you here to meet a kid?
Oh my god.
Well, I think Mother Nature's undefeated, though.
That's like the one predator that you won't be able to defeat. Or
for real, yo.
Right.
It's just unstoppable. It's just, oh my goodness. It's almost God given.
It is God.
Right.
It is like if you want to look at it from a biblical approach, that is the power of
Noah's Ark.
Super.
Was
Like,
it Tibet?
Man, look, we're gonna
power.
leave that conversation for another stream, because that's a whole nother conversation altogether for sure. But anyways, any last final words before I end the stream from you guys?
Well, I think we said everything.
All right. I'm gonna let Sal go. Sal, thanks for being here, bro. I'm gonna let you go, but thanks for being here. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for having me,
I'm
guys.
out of here too.
Okay. See
I'm
you
out
guys.
of here, yo. Peace.
Right. All right. Any last words?
This was a really good conversation. Like, it was really cool. I just woke up and then I'm already like in my philosophical mode. I really love that. Like, genuinely, that was really cool. But yeah, thank you. Good job. Keep up the awesome live streams. And if everyone is not subscribed yet, well, I'm pretty sure y'all are subscribed, but you should subscribe to CC Unit. He should be having he should be having another video this coming week. So go ahead
Nice.
and subscribe, turn on the bell, and click the bell so you can be notified about that. And yeah, thank you all for support. I was reading like I couldn't really read the YouTube chat. I didn't know that there was a feature on the mobile that could allow me to do that, but I saw some of your really nice comments, so thank you and much love to you guys. So, yes, keep on supporting and being the amazing people that you are. Yes.
Thanks for being here. I appreciate your continued love and support for this channel and all the other channels. and for spreading your knowledge, your insight, and your views, opinions, and feedback. It really, I'm happy that you were able to be on here. To be honest with you, and
Oh
yeah,
yes.
you have a blessed rest of the day. And you are as well. I would even dare say you're more important than me in this community. So the fact that you were able to like share your time with me, it means a lot to me. So
Oh,
uh,
oh, likewise. You're awesome too. You're like really good like support for all of us. So thank you, JDQ. Thank you. That means a lot too. So yeah, you do a lot of great work too. I hope you know that.
I appreciate that. I try, or at least I'm trying to. I'm trying to. So I appreciate
Yes,
those words.
that's good. Yes. Also, yeah, you have a really blessed day too. And yes, what time is it over there? It's like
It's 1:08 p.m.
1 p.m.
Hmm.
Oh wow. Yeah, I was like, I'm not used to your streams, or maybe I usually catch the evening streams. That's why. So I was like, oh wow, this is new. This is a
Yeah, this is
very
different,
early
right?
stream.
I
It's a
wanted to
very,
catch
very,
people
very
off
special
guard.
stream indeed.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
I'm trying different things
That's
just
so
to kind
true.
of like
I was like, oh yeah, yeah. I was like, when I'm like getting ready in the morning, I'll usually listen to like worship music. But lately, I've
Mhm.
been listening to like podcasts. So I was like, Hannah, Himi, do you want to be part of a podcast? Like while you're brushing your teeth. It's like it's
Well,
like
I'm
I
glad
am
you
the
were here
they're
though.
like we are the podcast this morning. Oh
Yep,
yes, thank you. Thank you for the invite. Yes.
yep. And hopefully next time you'll be
Okay.
on here as well,
Yes.
because like I said, I'm planning to do like a several part uh, episodes, I guess, to this series of like asking the community, to like express themselves and express their feedback on how things are going within the community itself. So thanks for being here, yo.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
All
Yes.
right,
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, that sounds like a really great idea. All right. Have a good one.
all right, you too. Okay, so guys, before I leave, I want to say thank you to every single one of you guys who were here from start to finish, or even if you were here for like a second or a minute, I appreciate it. I do have to go eat because, like I said, a brother have to eat. You know what I'm saying? I can't sustain myself with just air, and I'm extremely hungry, so I'm about to tear it up in the kitchen, whatever we have going on there. But yeah, there will be follow up streams to this one, and yeah, I'm extremely grateful for every single one of you guys. I truly mean it. I truly, truly, genuinely mean that. And I got nothing but love for every single one of you guys. Whether you're a supporter, troll, or whatever you are, I'm glad you were able to like make time to be here with me. It means a lot. Um, Stream that. Wait, what do you mean? I'm not sure. You have to explain that one, Terrence. But I do appreciate this right here. Day in the life. I don't know. It might be a bit too much for you guys, but MB Cap South Pest says obviously I'm a fan. If I'm here for 3 hours. Oh, stream when I'm eating? Nah, bro. Like, that's nah. Y'all really can't handle that. You're gonna ask yourselves like if there's like a bottomless pit in my stomach or something like that. So I don't want to scare you guys off with those visuals. And yes, I am always entirely grateful for all of my blessings. I actually pray every time I eat an actual meal, and I thank God for that meal that I'm eating because I'm aware that there's a lot of people out in the world who don't even have that. So I'm always grateful for everything I have, and I'm grateful for the people I have in my life, whether it be viewers, supporters of this channel, or like on Instagram or whatever. Which is funny, real quick. Like on Instagram, I've noticed that a lot of people, and I'm okay with saying this because I think it's funny, but a lot of people add me on Instagram thinking that they're like adding Alex. And from time to time I have to like correct them and be like, hey man, like real quick, just to make sure, are you sure you're trying to follow me or are you trying to follow Alex? Because I could send you his way if need be. You know what I mean? And lately, I've been surprised with like, no, I was actually trying to like add you. So I was like, okay, cool. I'm just trying to make sure because I don't want no misunderstandings, nothing like that. Thank you, Jen. I appreciate that. And again, I'm sorry. I know I owe you big time, Jen, from like waking me up unnecessarily. And thank you, Linz. I appreciate that. I appreciate that very much. Thank you. Um, but yeah, like I was trying to say, I'm grateful. I'm just grateful. I got you, Don. Red Hood, man, get out of here with that, bro. But anyways, I'm gonna let y'all go. I'm gonna let y'all be about your day. Stay blessed and safe out there. All right. Never hesitate to reach out to me if ever y'all need to like whatever, ask for like a prayer or whatever. Whatever you think you need that I can help with, you can always like message me or Instagram, like DM me or whatever, and I'll do what I can. All right. So to everybody, I can't obviously read all the names because there's a lot of names right now, but Anthony, Jen, Jake, Cupcake, MV Cap, John Davis, Red Hood, Linz, Jake, MV Cap Mexico, Tatiana, Nevi, Rod Plum, Miss Grin, MV Cap Southwest, My Life, Terrence, Jaime, of course, um, everybody, Terrence, everybody who's here up until now, and even for a few seconds, I appreciate you. But God bless, stay safe. And until next time, there is going to be follow up episodes to this stream. So be on the lookout for that. All right. Love every single one of you guys. And thanks for the support as always. All right. Peace out.